generally gets a quick lead, and that is so important, in particular when you're talking about two teams that are such great front runners.
Michigan won the toss, will receive. Will somebody turn on the air conditioning? It's hot out here today, folks. It's only 35 degrees in Michigan in November. Perfect day for football in the Big Ten. As we take a look at the series note, it's a series that dates back to 1897. Michigan leads it, but Ohio State has won 7 in a row. And 14 of the last 15. Michigan has won 31 of the 58 games here in Ann Arbor, but not since 2011. Last year in Columbus, Dwayne Haskins threw for 396 yards and 6 touchdowns, 2 each to Chris Olave and Paris Campbell, as Ohio State beat Michigan 62-39 and advanced to the Big Ten championship. The Buckeyes have already clinched a berth in the Big Ten championship game next week in Indy. No matter what happens today, the Big Ten East title is in Columbus, 3rd straight year. Giles Jackson, the deep man. Blake Hallbeal will send it away. November 30th, 2019. Ohio State, Michigan, and we're underway from Ann Arbor. This one kicked out of the end zone, so Michigan will start from the 25. And that brings on Shea Patterson. Last week against Indiana, 20 of 32, 366 yards, passing, 5 touchdowns and interception, and he's been red hot.
Easily playing the best football of his life, the best football that he's played here in a Michigan uniform over the last 2 weeks. 750 yards through the air, 9 touchdowns. Has to be clean. He cannot turn the football over today if Michigan expects to upset the #1 team in the country.
He's turned it over just twice in the last 6 games on 1st down at 10 of the 25. And they'll run it. Haskins with the running room, keeps his legs turning, and Hassan Haskins, the sophomore, with the carry and a gain of 8 yards on the play. Devon Hamilton with the tackle.
Partner, I think it's so important for this Michigan offense to get off to a fast start. The guys touched on it in the pregame. I've touched on it already. You got to get Ohio State behind the 8 ball. Get them behind early. Try to have some success through the air.
On 2nd down, Patterson passing underneath. He's got his tight end, Sean McCune. And McCune will gain a 1st down. Tackled by Tough Borland, the middle linebacker.
These middle linebackers for Ohio State are going to be in the crosshairs all day long. Josh Gaddis, the offensive coordinator for Michigan, wants to attack through the passing game the linebackers for Ohio State and try to get mismatches with both their tight ends and their running backs on those players.
1st down and 10 at the 43, opening series for Michigan. Haskins remains in the backfield. Jackson in motion. Patterson keeps it, and he's wrapped up and taken down quickly. Malik Harrison, just having spectacular senior season, comes up with the stop, a loss of 2.
Malik Harrison is so athletic. He's got great length at 6'3", 240 pounds. And he's a guy that needs to have a big day today. He's a great pass rusher as well, with 4.5 sacks on the year. But the real pass rusher, folks, number 2, Chase Young. And these are the situations where he's so good. 2nd and long.
2nd down and 12 at the 41. Patterson, play fake, in trouble underneath, has his man. And it's a catch by Ronnie Bell, the sophomore from Kansas City. He picks up 7 yards on the play. And Ronnie Bell is feast or famine. He'll have a great game, did a subpar game. And right now he's due to have a great one.
He is. He had a couple of drops last week against Indiana, and they go right to him there on a big 2nd down. But now it sets up a more manageable 3rd down. You got to see whether they want to attack the corners for Ohio State or attack the linebackers. Gus, Ronnie Bell is in the backfield right now. They're trying to get a matchup with him on a linebacker.
3rd down and 5 at the 48-yard line for Michigan. Patterson dancing in the pocket, now scrambles. Throws across his body, caught by Ronnie Bell, 1st down. Great improvising by Shea Patterson, but there is a flag on the play.
Yeah, his legs are so important. We'll see what the flag is, but the ability to get away from the rush, buy time, so big on 3rd down.
After the play was over, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, defense number 1. 15-yard penalty to be added to the end of the run. Automatic 1st down.
Looks like Jeff Okuda
And Okudah was over on that side and trying to catch up. There's Jordan Fuller, number 4, and Okudah, right after he had stepped out just a hair, didn't look too egregious. But remember, in a rivalry like this, the officials are going to err on the side of caution early to try to keep the emotion down on the field.
So that makes it first down and 10 at the Ohio State 30-yard line for Michigan on their opening series. Patterson, far side, caught. Nick Eubanks, the tight end. And Big Nick with a nice catch. Eubanks, he's had at least one catch in every game this season. Twice as many catches this season, 23, as in his first 2 combined.
There was one of those matchups too. The tight end on a linebacker split out, very similar to what Penn State tried to do early in the game last week against Ohio State.
Second down and 2 at the 22. Patterson. And they'll reverse it. Near side, Sanders still. Hits the corner. Down the sideline. Dives! Touchdown, Wolverines! Just like that, Michigan takes their opening drive all the way down the field. Marching in. Sanders still with a 22-yard score.
Little misdirection. Jackson on the outside. He's the fastest Wolverine on the team. Said they were on 4.4 in the spring.
Seven plays covering 75 yards. The Wolverines eat up 3 minutes and 17 seconds on their opening series. Now in to attempt the extra point, Quinn Nordine, who's been a red-hot kicker for the Wolverines over the last few games. And he missed it. Wow. Michigan scoring on their opening drive, and the Wolverines take a 6-0 lead over the Buckeyes. In the stadium since early this morning. And how about Giles Jackson, the speedy little freshman receiver from Antioch, California, with the touchdown on the end around. However, Quinn Nordine did miss the extra point. He was 26 for 26 on point after tries this year. So Ohio State ready to receive the ball for the first time. And it will be fair caught inside the 5. And that brings on Justin Fields, the 6'3" sophomore, in his last game against Penn State. 16 of 22, 188 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, but he rushed for 68 yards. Expect him to run it a lot today.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And I thought that's when he was most dangerous, in particular on passing downs, 3rd down, 4th down. His ability to scramble and create first downs is what makes him so dangerous, and he's going to have to do that today against a very aggressive Michigan front.
The Georgia transfer in his first game in the Big House. First down and 10 at his own 25. Play fake. They'll throw it on first down. Far side, incomplete. Chris Olave, the intended receiver, covered by senior Lavert Hill.
Ryan Day had so much success throwing the football last year, even 2 years ago here in Ann Arbor with Dwayne Haskins, and he wants Justin Fields to attack these corners.
Second down and 10 at the 25. Olave with 2 touchdowns against the Wolverines in Columbus last year, including a block punt that resulted in an Ohio State touchdown. On second down, J.K. Dobbins, he lost it, gets it back, picks up a first, hits the sideline, burst of speed, and he'll dive forward to the 40. A 35-yard run for the junior from LaGrange, Texas.
Are you kidding me with this bounce? The ball pops out and right back to him in stride, and Dobbins takes it and runs for a huge explosive run. What a fortuitous bounce there for the junior J.K. Dobbins, who has explosive speed but did put the football on the ground last week against Penn State. It was really the only thing that kept that game close between the Buckeyes and Nittany Lions was the fact that Fields and Dobbins both were putting the ball on the ground. 3 fumbles on the day last week.
36 carries, 157 yards, and 2 touchdowns against Penn State last week. Here's Fields, pulls it out, short roll out of the pocket, delivers incomplete. Benjamin Victor, the intended receiver.
I was very interested to see how Justin Fields would react. This is, without question, the biggest environment that he's had to play in on the road as a quarterback. And now we've seen in his first 2 passes just a bit off the mark. And again, you got to try your best as a quarterback to calm down.
On 2nd and 10, they'll run it with Dobbins. He pushes the pile forward. J.K. Dobbins has just put up gaudy numbers since coming to Columbus from LaGrange, Texas. And I kept trying to figure out who he reminds me of. I think I figured it out. Emmitt Smith.
High praise.
Here's Dobbins again, and he'll pick up the first down. If you look at Emmitt Smith's numbers, the NFL's all-time leading rusher when he was in college at Florida, and J.K. Dobbins' numbers, their heights, their weights, almost identical.
What I love about Dobbins is that he's so decisive, and once he makes up his mind, he's so quick, Gus, to get into that hole in the middle of the offensive line and really explode up to the 2nd level, and then he can make people miss.
First down and 10 of the 29 for Ohio State on their opening series. Fields to throw. Steps up, in trouble. Fields, and they'll get him. Swarming Michigan defense, sacking Fields for the first time. Kwity Paye, Aiden Hutchinson.
Hutchinson was the first one there. He beats Bowen on the outside. Dwumfor was in there. Kwity Paye gets in there, and the relentless rush does not allow Fields to get the ball down the field.
Fields has now been sacked 22 times on the season. 2nd and 14 at the 33. Fields surveying. Now dances out of the pocket. Steps back, throws it deep, and incomplete. Benjamin Victor, the intended receiver. Michigan continuing to apply pressure.
And this time, what a great job by Don Brown. Watch as Michigan, who's normally in man-to-man coverage, they drop back into zone coverage. Ohio State was trying to have a max protection, everybody in to protect Fields, and only 3 guys down the field in the route, but there was nowhere to throw the ball because of the heavy zone coverage by Don Brown's secondary.
Aiden Hutchinson with pressure, 3rd and 14 at the 33. And the Wolverines get off the field. Here's Justin Fields over the middle, and he's got, guess who? J.K. Dobbins, first down. J.K. Dobbins dives forward and gets to the 5. A 28-yard gain on 3rd and 14.
What an amazing play. Watch as Garrett Wilson right here. He's going to make a bit of a pick, and that allows that space to be opened. Cameron McGrone was in coverage on Dobbins man-to-man, gets knocked off, and Dobbins is wide open.
And Ohio State running it. They'll get in. J.K. Dobbins. Easy does it. And the Buckeyes have a chance to take the lead.
Boy, that left side of the offensive line so dominant. Watch Jonah Jackson, the guard, and then you've got Myers, Josh Myers, the center. He's going to work all the way up. They're on the double team. Now he goes up to the 2nd level, and he leads Dobbins into the end zone for an easy score.
J.K. Dobbins now with 16 rushing touchdowns on the season. Hallbeal extra point. It's good. And Ohio State takes a 7-6 lead. Both teams scoring on their opening drives. 7-6 Buckeyes. Win a bigger game. Right now it's 7-6. The #1 ranked team in the nation, the Ohio State Buckeyes. They have a national championship in their sights, but can they beat their biggest rival? As this one is sent out of the end zone. Time now to join the 3rd member of our team. On the sideline, the All-American girl, Jenny Taft.
Well, guys, speaking of that upset back in 1969, 50 years ago, there are so many parallels and similarities between these two teams. And you mentioned Bo Schembechler. He famously told the media back then that Ohio State is beatable. We heard the exact same quote from Michigan's Aiden Hutchinson this week, saying that we got this against this team. Bo believed they could win. Coach Harbaugh believes his Wolverines can get it done. And like you guys briefly mentioned, he said this rivalry is better than Christmas. Will it come early today?
On first down, Wolverines running the ball with Haskins, and that play strung out nicely by the Buckeyes. Devon Hamilton leading the way, but so many good players in that 1969 game. For Ohio State, they had guys like Jim Otis and Rex Kern, the great Jack Tatum, Mike Sensabaugh. For Michigan, Dan Dierdorf, the All-American and NFL Hall of Famer. Barry Pearson had 3 picks in that 69 game against Ohio State.
And really set the stage for the 10-year war, which then put this not necessarily on the map. It was always a great rivalry, but certainly it ratcheted it up to the point where now we call it the best in all of sport.
On second down and 11, Michigan trying to force that run, and they'll go nowhere as Zach Charbonnet, the freshman from right outside Los Angeles, picks up about a yard. Some of those guys from the 69 Michigan team, Bo Schembechler's first year, being honored before the game.
And how about that ovation that they got from the Michigan faithful?
Third down and 11, Chase Young, maybe the best player in the country. At the 24-yard line, here's the Wolverines throwing it up the sideline. Nico Collins, he got it, but was he in bounds? No.
What an unbelievable matchup. Nico Collins is 6'4". He's so good down the field, and this is the best corner in college football, Jeff Okudah. And they're both fighting, getting away with a lot of contact, but Collins comes down just out with that left foot as the first thing to hit the turf. Patterson tried to give him a chance up high for the 6'4" receiver, but Okudah with just great coverage.
Collins having a great season as Quinn Nordine make that Robbins punting it away. End over end kick. And they'll start from the 35. Garrett Wilson changing numbers now. On punt return, Wilson wears 18. As a receiver, he wears number 5. A 39-yard punt and a 10-yard return. Justin Fields back on after this.
On the ground in the first series and a 28-yard catch. And he went right down the field on this Michigan defense. We'll see what he does here, Gus, in the second series for Ohio State.
Not only is he an incredible college football player, but just an incredible young man. Lost his father when he was 15 years old. He had to grow up fast with his mom, Maya. We'll tell you about it as this game goes on. First down and 10 at the 20. And they'll hand it off to Dobbins running over the right side. Dobbins lowers his shoulder. And Dobbins will pick up about 7 on the play. Khaleke Hudson, the Viper, with the tackle.
They're leaning on Michigan right now. This run game, it's pretty clear, is got the upper hand on the front for Michigan. Michigan's defensive line is a bit undersized. They don't even have a 300-pounder that they can throw in there at the tackle position. Dwumfor is 282. Carlo Kemp, he's 286. And this big offensive line, in particular the guard, center guard, Jackson Myers and Davis, they're so tough. They're large, 305, 310, 313. I expect Ohio State to just sit here with the run game.
Second down and 4 at the 26. And once again, it's J.K. Dobbins, and he picks up a first down. Michael Dana, the Central Michigan transfer, with the tackle. But Dobbins, his father, Lawrence Dobbins, was an incredible running back at LaGrange High School, the same high school as J.K. He was about 5'8", 165 pounds. Got a scholarship in Pennsylvania, didn't work out, came back to Blinn College in Texas. First down and 10 at the 30. That didn't work out. He quit football. Start hanging around the wrong people. Ended up going to prison. J.K. Dobbins, his father, Lawrence, died in prison of a stroke at 33 years old. Here's Fields, far side, caught And it's Berry who'll get out of bounds. The last time JK saw his dad was in prison, and they had a saying between those two. Lawrence Dobbins, JK's biggest fan. They would say, go get it and come back with it. J.K. Dobbins has done that to honor his father as one of the great players in Ohio State history. 2nd and 6 at the 34. Fields near side this time, incomplete. Garrett Wilson, the intended receiver.
And he's working against Ambry Thomas on the outside. Ambry, a heck of a corner, and in their man-to-man defense, he will be stressed and threatened all day long by these wide receivers. They're going to try to get these guys open down the field and take their shots. But right now on 3rd down, this is when they get these pass rushers on the field. Gus, 4 defensive ends in on the defensive line for Michigan. The one you've got to keep an eye on is number 6, Josh Uche. He's the best pass rusher Michigan has.
3rd down and 6 at the 34. Fields, empty backfield. Fields drops it off and incomplete. KJ Hill, the intended receiver. Pressure being applied by Kwity Paye.
That's right. They bring the pressure, and that's what forces Fields to throw it too early. Here they're going to come inside and outside, and that's the direction Fields wants to throw it. He senses the pressure, throws it a little bit too early, and it's high for KJ Hill, the intended receiver.
So Drew Chrisman will punt it away at the 21-yard line. Donovan Peoples-Jones is the return man. Donovan Peoples-Jones from the 25. He's got a wall. Peoples-Jones flags all over the field, and he'll get out of bounds close to midfield, but let's see. Flags are back at the 27-yard line, as well as the 24.
Jamon Green, number 22, Gus, was the guy that was making a block right in front of Donovan Peoples-Jones, and it looked like that's where the flag came out. But they're going to conference here and talk about this one as a group, this officiating crew.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team number 22. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st down and 10.
So they'll back it up. Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines down by a penny as Shea Patterson and the Wolverines return to the field on offense right after this. Ria is the largest, and since November 8th of 1975, at least 100,000 fans have attended every home game. Today is the 293rd straight game of over 100,000. And they're seeing a great start to this one. 7-6 Ohio State. Michigan will start from their own 17. Patterson underneath, and it's caught. Donovan Peoples-Jones. And what a nice route and catch and run, a 21-yard gain. Jim Harbaugh said he's playing the best football since becoming a Michigan Wolverine.
And this is a mismatch. That's Pete Warner, the linebacker, walked out. He tries to get some hands on Donovan Peoples-Jones, but he finds the space to run a little bit of a zone right there. Shea Patterson recognizes it and throws a beautiful ball to number 9.
1st down at the 37 for the Wolverines. Haskins bottled up, and Haskins will be taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Malik Harrison, the first man to him.
It's really interesting, Gus, this offensive philosophy change. We've talked so much about it all year long with new offensive coordinator and play caller Josh Gaddis. Why did they make the change? Why is Josh Gaddis here? It's for days like this when they know it's going to be difficult to run the football. Can they still throw it to win? We've seen that the last 2 weeks against Michigan State and Indiana, and it looks like to this point they're going to have to do it again today against Ohio State.
2nd down and 11 at the 36. Haskins the pistol back. Patterson. Incomplete. Ronnie Bell, the intended receiver. Okuda in coverage for the Bucks.
What a play by Okudah. He's really beat. Ronnie Bell does a great job of getting up the field from that slot position, and Okudah is trying to catch up from the outside, and he goes up high to bat that ball away. And check out as he almost gets it with his left hand going down for the interception. You could argue he was maybe there a hair early, but he was certainly going for the ball.
3rd down and 11 at the 36. Jeff Okudah, a finalist for the Thorpe Award, the top defensive back in the nation. They say he's a top 5 pick. First defensive back taken off the board in the draft coming up. Now Patterson, quick toss, incomplete. Nico Collins, the intended receiver. Okudah there again.
Well, this is what teams have avoided all year, was throwing the ball at Okudah. Michigan is not going to be afraid, and they're going at him with their big wide receiver, Nico Collins. And Okudah got away with just a little bit of a hold as Collins was breaking out of his route, and he's certainly there a little bit early. So these officials certainly letting them play in the secondary so far today.
So Robbins will punt it away. We do not know why Will Hart is not punting for Michigan. Robbins from the 21. And he sends this one deep, and it goes out of bounds inside the Ohio State 20. Time now for a Bright House Financial game break. Let's go to Los Angeles.
3rd-ranked Clemson up early on South Carolina in the Palmetto Bowl. Trevor Lawrence, the deep ball to T. Higgins, a 65-yard score. 2nd touchdown connection already today for those two. 14-0 in favor of the defending national champs. Back to Gus and Joel at the Big House.
That Clemson team is so good. We've talked all year about Ohio State being the most dominant and balanced team in the country, but right on their heels, I would say Clemson is right there. Clearly the explosive LSU team with those great wins that they've had is right there, and those three, Gus, have clearly separated themselves to this point, at least in the college football year.
1st down and 10 of the 19 for the Buckeyes. J.K. Dobbins looking for room, and he's met as soon as he crosses the line of scrimmage. Josh Metellus, who is the Bomar brain of the Wolverine secondary.
How about Dobbins, by the way, in terms of Ohio State history? There is your 2nd leading rusher in the history of Ohio State. What a list to be climbing the ladder.
Past Eddie George and Ezekiel Elliott this season. 2nd down and 8 at the 21. Fields, near side, caught, Olave, nice route, and he'll pick up a 1st down. Chris Olave, so smooth, gains 11 yards.
There's no doubt. Watch him come. He's going to come on this little tunnel screen from the outside. He gives a little fake outside, and then there he goes. He catches it cleanly, and then he's gone. He is so smooth. Gus, when he's running around the football field, there's something almost, I know this is a strange way to, there's something almost majestic about the way he floats across the field, whether he has the ball or doesn't have the ball. He has become quite the star for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Last 4 weeks, 18 catches for 319 yards and 4 touchdowns for Chris Olave, a young man from San Diego, California. 1st down and 10 of the 32. Dobbins with room. J.K. Dobbins diving forward. Close to the 1st down. Cameron McGrone, who they're excited about. Number 44, they say he could be the next Devin Bush with the tackle.
Check out this nice block across the formation from 81, Jake Hossman, who comes over and boom, right there, and that's what creates the hole.
2nd down and 1 at the 41. Fields will throw it on play action, going deep down the field, and incomplete. Benjamin Victor had a step. Fields couldn't put it on him. That brings up 3rd down and 1. Lavert Hill in coverage.
You know what we haven't seen yet, other than that little arrow route from Dobbins, is those crossing routes that were so dangerous against Michigan last year with Dwayne Haskins and company from Ohio State. And partly it's because Don Brown, the defensive coordinator for Michigan, has played more zone coverage to try to eat those crossing routes up.
3rd down and 1 at the 41. For the Buckeyes, up 7-6. Dobbins remains in the backfield. That's Kwity Paye. Great pass rusher for Michigan. Dobbins looking for the first down, lowers his shoulder, has it.
That's another thing, Gus, I think is just underrated about Dobbins. You know, you see his speed and his explosiveness, but at just 215 pounds, he is strong in there in the short yardage situations. You see him get low and use those big, strong legs to drive forward for the extra yard that he needed to move the chains.
I'm telling you, Emmitt Smith, Dobbins squats 700 pounds, and on top of that runs a 4.3 40-yard dash. 9 carries, 74 yards in the first quarter for Dobbins, along with a touchdown. First down and 10 at the 43. Olave crosses in motion. Fields to throw, steps up, delivers deep down the field. He's got a receiver. Olave, touchdown, Buckeyes! 57 yards.
Great read by Fields. Olave's on the outside. He's one of the best deep threats in college football, and they just absolutely blow the coverage. Josh Metellus, number 14, he got caught inside looking at the tight end. He can't do that with Olave on the field, right down the field, and that was a beautiful throw from Justin Fields to Chris Olave for a huge score for the Buckeyes.
Fields hit him in stride. Ryan Day says, attaboy. Chris Olave with 3 touchdowns in 2 games against the Wolverines. Extra point up and good. Olave, smooth like butter, as Ohio State takes a 14-6 lead on the road to the Big House against the Wolverines. A 57-yard touchdown reception for Chris Olave, his 11th receiving touchdown of the season. That leads the Big Ten. This one kicked out of the end zone. Let's go downstairs and check in with Jenny Taft.
Well, I had a chance to catch up with Chris Olave this week, just talked to him about the dynamic of he and Justin Fields, and he said something that surprised me. He said, honestly, we struggled early. 2 or 3 weeks ago is when everything really started to click. He said the biggest thing was just repetition and just Fields finding his leadership, his ability to lead this offense. It has been so smooth and easy. We remember what Olave did in this game last year. I asked him if we could expect the same. He said, Jenny, I got something planned.
All right. Plan working out so far after that 57-yard touchdown. First down for the Wolverines at the 25. Patterson drops it off near side. Here's Haskins, turns it up, and he'll get close to the first down yardage needed as Baron Browning, the backup linebacker to Tuff Borland, makes the tackle.
And that's the matchup they want, folks, is these backs and these tight ends. They want them matched up on those linebackers, get the ball to them quickly on the edge. And that's something that Ohio State is going to have to adjust to here during the course of this game.
Second down and 1 at the 34. Haskins, no, Patterson over the middle. McCune with the reception. McCune down the sideline, and he's knocked out of bounds inside the 25. Great play action fake, 41-yard gain.
Pete Warner's going to get caught with his eyes in the backfield, and it allows McCune to get down the field off the fake. Wonderful fake from Patterson, and McCune does a great job of just shuffling his feet and making it look like the run play, and then sliding by on the outside, and he's wide open. What a huge play there for Michigan.
Sean McCune, a senior from Dudley, Mass, picks up 41, first down at the Ohio State 25. Ronnie Bell, the motion man. Patterson over the middle, caught. Patterson, touchdown. Donovan Peoples Jones, 25-yard strike. Uh-oh, folks. We've got an early track meet in Ann Arbor.
Here's what you're going to get. You're going to get the motion, but this is what it creates. Watch the movement from Ohio State in the back end, and then boom, all day long for Donovan Peoples-Jones to get open down the middle of the field.
So a 3-play, 75-yard drive. Can Quinn Nordin get the extra point? This time he does. 14-13. Shea Patterson continues to have the hot hand. He finds Donovan Peoples-Jones. We've got a 1-point game in Michigan.
No man is more important than the team. No coach is more important than the team. The team, the team, the team.
Right now, Michigan playing some team ball against the best team in the country. The Ohio State Buckeyes, 14-13, 19 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Jake Moody sends it away, kicks it deep once again. Don't forget, coming up next on Fox, number 16 Notre Dame and Stanford renew their rivalry. Then at 8 Eastern, it's Bedlam and Stillwater, where Jalen Hurts and the number 7 ranked Oklahoma Sooners face off with the nation's leading rusher, Chuba Hubbard, and number 21 Oklahoma State. Both games are also available on the Fox Sports app.
I cannot wait to see that Oklahoma State game. Because we've done Bedlam a couple of times over the last few years. And you know what you always expect in that game? Points.
That's right.
And lots of them, folks. And I'm sure it will be the same tonight as Joe Davis and Brock Heward bring you the action.
First down and 10 at the 25, closing moments of the first quarter.
You're going to have to take a timeout. Justin Fields didn't look at the play clock. He was confused. It was at 2. Ryan Day had to take a timeout. We'll be back in 30 seconds here from Ann Arbor.
14-13, Ohio State. Ryan Day trying to motivate his men from the sideline.
He's telling them, go. The play clock's running. Now snap the ball.
First down from the 25. Fields runs it, tries to get to the edge, and he'll step out of bounds, crossing the 30-yard line. Hutchinson giving chase.
I really think that Fields is going to have to play a huge part of this game plan with his legs. We'll see if that continues, Gus, in the second quarter.
Takes us to the end of the first quarter, and what an electric quarter it was. 1-point game, 14-13, Bucks. Ohio State on top of Michigan. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, Jenny Taft, Mike Pereira with you from the Big House. Second down and 4 at the 31 for the Buckeyes. Dobbins with 74 yards rushing on 9 carries and a touchdown in the first quarter. They give it to him straight ahead. Carlo Kemp jumped on him, denies him the first down, it looks like. And that should bring up third down and short.
This is that situation where I just love the idea that Ohio State has those 2 explosive runners in the backfield, and they can get that read going in the backfield between Fields and Dobbins, create big runs on these short yardage opportunities when you know the front from Michigan is going to be selling out to try to stop the first option.
Ohio State 3 of 4 on third down conversions, 3rd and 1. And they'll lean forward with the quarterback sneak and pick up the first down. Justin Fields is great size. He's 6'3", 223.
I think that was the most surprising thing. You know, he comes up from Georgia as a transfer. I went out to spring practice just to see how he was acclimating at Ohio State. That was the first thing I noticed. I was like, wow, he's a lot bigger than I thought he was going to be, in particular with his agility and mobility outside of the pocket. He's a big man, and he's developed beautifully under Ryan Day and Mike Yurcich, the quarterback coach, here for Ohio State from the pocket. Evidence that last series, the go route to Olave.
On first down, Dobbins, they slow him down. Hutchinson grabbed his ankle and brought him to the turf. Aiden Hutchinson, he was the young man that said, no team is unbeatable. We can beat Ohio State. We've got to play our best game.
It was a really late flag.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 2, 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run, automatic first down.
Carlo Kemp.
Guys, watch this. They untied the shoe of Dobbins down there. Look at him. Hutchinson and Kemp, they're working on the shoe, and then they pulled it off of his foot. Dobbins looks back like, hey, What are you doing? I've never seen that before. That is incredible. You see him working on it? They're like a couple of thieves in the night. Get his shoe off of his foot.
Come on, guys. First down and 10 at the 44. J.K. Dobbins is the kind of runner. He can do it with one shoe, if need be. $15-yard penalty. Dobbins. Metellus grabs him from behind. Josh Metellus.
I want to take another look at the angle of Kemp and Hutchinson. First of all, Dobbins almost runs out of that tackle. They're both hanging onto his foot. This is the camera that is on the hat of the umpire right in there, and he's walking in as he can kind of see these guys. And just behind Bowen, they pulled that shoe off, and the flag came out.
2nd and 9 at the 43. Ohio State having no problems moving the football right now. Fields. Survey. Now runs it. Fields. First down. No, but a flag on the play. He's short.
Well, in the backfield, Thayer Munford was working against Aiden Hutchinson.
Holding offense. Number 75. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Watch as Munford gets an inside move from Hutchinson. Hutchinson comes in. Here he is. He's trying to get to the inside. He just kind of pulls him down to the turf, and that's the gap that Fields was able to exploit, trying to get that first down, and the flag came out.
Michigan feels that if there is a weakness on this Ohio State team, it's their tackles.
No, and it's not that they're not good. It's just that they're not as strong as some other areas of their offense, and they wanted to get their pass rushers, who they feel are very good, guys like Aiden Hutchinson, Josh Uche, Kwity Paye, and they wanted to get them matched up in one-on-one situations on the outside in passing downs, and they were able to get a penalty there.
2nd down and 19 at the 47. Justin Fields under pressure, got it away underneath, and this time it's Garrett Wilson striding, gets inside the 20. Garrett Wilson down at the 12. Daxton Hill with the saving tackle, but it's a 41-yard gallop.
Watch right here. You're going to have a couple of Michigan guys run into each other. They have got to separate and create levels. You can't have a defensive guy knock another defensive guy off. As Charles Woodson would explain to you, you got to have levels as a defensive back in man coverage when the formation is a tight bunch set. One of those players has to be responsible for going low. The other has got to back off the line of scrimmage and create a free path for himself. They're unable to do it. Thomas gets knocked off, and it's a huge play for Ohio State.
On 1st down and 10, Dobbins. But with that Garrett Wilson 41-yard reception, there are the crossing routes that caused Michigan problems last year.
And this was the exact same type of thing, Gus, where they did not give themselves the opportunity to get across the field because they weren't on the same level. Don Brown knows that the adjustment has to be made. He's gone to different styles of coverage during the course of the year, but that's just an error in technique from the secondary from Khaleke Hudson and Ambry Thomas.
2nd down and 8. Here's Fields rolling out of the pocket, squares his shoulders, looking, and just flicks it away. And Jeremy Ruckert, the sophomore from Long Island, New York, with a 4-yard catch.
You know when you learn that play? Schoolyard ball. That is, I love that. That is improvising all the way. Just drops it right over. Ruckert finds himself open, and you gain some free yardage here. Getting ready for 3rd down.
See, I disagree with you, partner. I don't know if they play schoolyard ball anymore. That's a Dr. Pepper pass. We'll see that next week.
That's right. I can't wait for that.
3rd down and 4 at the 6. Dobbins next to Fields.
Looks like Ryan Day's going to call a timeout here, and he will.
Timeout, Ohio State leading 14-13.
Timeout.
J.K. Dobbins in the backfield with Justin Fields. Dobbins trying to get outside, cuts it inside, touchdown. JK all day. Second touchdown of the first half for the prolific running back from LaGrange, Texas.
First of all, you get a great block at the second level from the tight end, but I want you to watch Kwity Paye, number 19. Kwity Paye for Michigan, he's there, and then he turns his back to Dobbins, and that's what creates the hole. He spun back as if Dobbins was going towards the inside. Dobbins didn't, went outside, found the lane and the end zone.
Haubeil in for the extra point. And it's good. 9-play drive covering 75 yards. The Buckeyes use 5 minutes and 7 seconds. And Ohio State on the road playing well, leading 21-13. Feel better after losing this game. It means that much. Haubeil to send it away. This time Michigan will get a shot. Giles Jackson. And Jackson, solid return. And here comes Shea Patterson. Let's go to Sam Farber for a game break.
A potential college football playoff squad. Number 4, Georgia, having its way with Georgia Tech. Jake Fromm, 20 yards to Charlie Werner. It was 17-zip at the time, now 17-7. Bulldogs leading. They'll play LSU next week in the SEC championship game. Back to Gus and Joel.
All right, thank you very much. 21-13, our score. Ohio State, Michigan now with the football at their own 22. Zach Charbonnet in the backfield. Play fake. Patterson, deep drop, looking, drops it off. Nick Eubanks with the catch, sticks a foot in the ground. Nick Eubanks, what a run, what a catch by the tight end. A gain of 33 yards.
This is just a great route. Watch Eubanks. He's just going to sneak over, and then he's going to get up the field. Terrific misdirection going all the way across. Patterson has time. That's the important part. This rush for Ohio State has not had an opportunity to get home. The offensive line for Michigan is doing a really nice job against Chase Young and the rest of that D-line.
Second reception of the game for Eubanks. 1st and 10 at the 44. This time they'll run it. And it's Giles Jackson. You know, everybody talked about the big three for Michigan. Peoples-Jones, Collins, and Tariq Black. But when Josh Gaddis came in there, he said there is no big three. You guys will be held accountable, and we're going to allow some of these young cats to get an opportunity. Giles Jackson, Sainer still.
As well as Ronnie Bell, who flashed and has become kind of their go-to guy, in particular out of the slot.
2nd and 6 at the 40. Patterson. Patterson being chased by Chase Young. He'll just throw it. Is it caught? Yes, it is. Nico Collins got a foot in bounds. What a nice throw by Shea Patterson. 11-yard gain.
It was a great throw and just an unbelievable adjustment by Collins. First of all, Patterson doesn't just launch it out of bounds, which gives Collins the chance to come back and catch the ball, get a foot in bounds, and he's able to do that and move the chains. And
is it me, partner, or are the Wolverines blocking Chase Young today?
They're doing a great job. These tackles for Michigan have done a heck of a job against number 2.
1st down and 10 at the 29. Play fake again, near side. Ronnie Bell turns it up. Ronnie Bell, 1st down. Ronnie Bell inside the 15. Jordan Fuller with the tackle.
This Michigan offense is doing a great job of attacking what is right now a weakness. Shaun Wade, the normal starting corner, nickelback in the slot for Ohio State, is banged up and not playing. Number 10, Amir Reep, is getting some run right now on the field. They just took him off, trying to get somebody else on the field, but that's who Josh Gaddis is attacking. He's found the mismatch, and he's trying to attack that area of the field and get his players the ball in space.
1st down at the 13-yard line of Ohio State for Michigan. Patterson sprints out of the pocket. He's got a blocker in front of him. Patterson, nice legs, and he'll step out of bounds inside the 10. Jeff Okudah giving chase.
And they're trying to do so many different things to Chase Young. That time they motioned a tight end down and then chipped him, kind of a crack block from the edge. Watch right here. You're going to get the block coming from the outside. The tight end motions down. Boom, I believe that was Eubanks. Yes, and he gets a piece of Chase Young. And they're trying to slow down the excellent pass rusher for Ohio State. They feel like they can get him tired and slow him down during the course of the day so that later in the game they have the opportunity to go down the field.
Second down and 6. Patterson again. And Patterson this time mowed down by Pete Werner. That's a tackle for a loss of 3.
That's a case study right there from Pete Werner and how you take on the block. Owenu, the right guard, was pulling around to the outside, and he was responsible for Warner, and Warner just, bam, hits him right in the chest, sheds the block, and makes the tackle. That's a great job by Pete Werner, who's really an unsung guy on this defense and has played great football for the entirety of the season.
3rd down and 9 from the Ohio State 12-yard line. Patterson fumbled it. Loose. And Ohio State has a football. Wow.
He just dropped it. He backed away from the snap too quickly, and it looked like, it is windy, it looked like a gust of wind, even on that short area shotgun snap, blew the ball just a little bit to the right, and Patterson backed away, and it gets put on the ground. Landers with it. What a huge turnover for Ohio State. Front right now, Chase Young giving chase. Justin Fields and Dobbins having a great year, as well as Jonathan Taylor. In fact, after you get past those top 2, boy, there's a lot of candidates.
Here's Dobbins running, and once again, he'll gain a chunk as he gets to the 20. Well, Michigan was plagued by turnovers early in the season.
Yeah.
9 in the first 3 games, including 7 fumbles.
You watch this, Gus. He just, at the last moment, look at his eyes. They just come off the football, and it's just a bit of a careless play by Patterson. And then the scrum for the ball ends up with Landers having it right between his legs.
2nd down and 5 at the 21. Fields keeps it, and Fields dives forward and picks up the 1st down. Cameron McGrone with the tackle.
This is where Ohio State has been so good all year long, is they get these little runs, like a basketball run, Gus, where they get 2 or 3 touchdowns in a row. They get a couple of stops, and then all of a sudden they create that multiple possession gap between them and their opponent. And rest assured, they are a great front runner. Like a NASCAR car that's the fastest car on the track. They need that clean air. They want to be out in front. They want to get their pass rushers going. So this is a huge series for Michigan.
1st down and 10 at the 26. Dobbins.
You think of this season for Ohio State, and every single game has been played on their terms, with them in front. The opponent having to come back, throw the ball more than they want to, and Michigan's got to prevent that on this defensive series.
2nd down and 8. Fields looking, delivers to the sideline. Nice catch. Austin Mack, who's been plagued by a hamstring injury, returned last week against Penn State.
Boy, and he just fully extended for that one, didn't he, as he came back. Watch this as he goes all the way out into the fingertips and is able to haul it in.
You talked about the 2nd quarter. Ohio State has outscored opponents 190 points in the 2nd quarter alone this year. And that's the largest point differential by an FBS team in any quarter since 2008 and the Oklahoma Sooners. 1st down and 10 at the 37. Fields delivers off his back foot and incomplete. KJ Hill, the intended receiver.
I'd be interesting to hear from Jenny, who's down on the field. It looks like the wind is an issue blowing from your right to left on your television, because going this direction, it just doesn't look like these passes have the same crisp nature that they've had in the 1st quarter for Fields.
2nd down and 10 at the 37. Fields steps up in the pocket, wants to run it, has some room, throws anyway, and incomplete. That one thrown behind J.K. Dobbins. Michigan getting some pressure up the middle.
There was Josh Uche right up the middle, and Fields eluded him, but was just playing a little too fast to get it to Dobbins. Here's the down that's so huge for Michigan. They've got to get pressure on Justin Fields. And remember last week, it was third down where Fields killed Penn State with his legs. So they got to keep him in the pocket.
Dana and Hutchinson are the defensive tackles. 3rd and 10 at the 37. Justin Fields steps up. Justin Fields, and he won't get it. Josh Uche, first man to him, number 6. And Ohio State will have to punt it away.
That's really good defense from Michigan, in particular number 97, Aiden Hutchinson. Watches, he's going to come around on the slant, but then he stops. Why? He's the spy. And then he's there to bring Fields to the ground, along with Uche, who's dropping back from his rush position. So Don Brown does a great job of making sure he's got a player for Fields, and they bring him down to the ground.
Drew Chrisman, second team All Big Ten after averaging 43 yards a kick last season. He'll punt from his own 30. Donovan Peoples-Jones is the return man. Flag on the play. Here's Peoples-Jones, and it's fair caught at the 23.
I think Michigan jumped there and was in the neutral zone.
And remember, it was 4th and 4.
That was Hudson and Glasgow who were right over the ball and jumped.
Offside. Defense. Number 7. That 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Well, now if you're Ohio State, you've got to capitalize on that. Michigan just sold out to get off the field, and watch, he's right over the ball. This is Khaleke Hudson as well as Glasgow. They get into that neutral zone right when the ball is snapped and give Ohio State a free set of downs. What a giant mistake. So the turnover, Gus, followed up with a great job by the defense, and then the special teams makes an error and extends the drive for Ohio State.
Self-inflicted wounds. So the Buckeyes offense will come back onto the field with a 21-13 lead. 3:29 remaining in the first half. Ohio State with 1 timeout remaining. Michigan has all 3. And usually this is when they find Olave. He's the receiver at the bottom of your screen. Watch him on this drive. Here's Fields looking. Fields, deep ball. He's got a receiver. Oh, what a catch. Garrett Wilson inside the 5. The freshman having a big first half, a 47-yard gain.
What a throw from Fields all the way down the field. And then the adjustment from Wilson. What a sensational player. And like Olave breaking on the scene last year, it's almost as if a star is born.
Here's Dobbins looking for his 3rd touchdown, and he has it. Just like that. Ohio State capitalizing on the Michigan mistakes. And the Buckeyes take a 27-13 first half lead.
And here's that big offensive line leaning on that smaller defensive line again. Huge hole on the left side provided by Thayer Munford, Jonah Jackson, the left guard, left tackle. And Ohio State takes advantage of those mistakes and those self-inflicted wounds from the Wolverines.
Lake Hobio comes in to attempt the extra point. And it's good. Ohio State. 9 plays covering 84 yards. The offside on the punt, huge. Buckeyes up big.
28-13 Buckeyes, their biggest lead of the afternoon. Rob Stone back here with you. Coming up on the State Farm halftime, Urban Meyer will join you to tell you where he has seen the biggest difference in favor of the Buckeyes so far. Plus, we'll check in with 2 other rivalry games. Unbeaten Clemson tries to take care of the Gamecocks, and Georgia knows, guys, they cannot afford another loss if they hope to make it to the playoffs. Gus?
All right, Rob, thank you very much. Ohio State already, folks, with 5 plays of 25 yards or more in this first half. Shea Patterson ready to come back on for Michigan. And this one will be fair caught at the 4.
Huge series now for Shea Patterson after those mistakes. They're going in. They got points basically in their pocket. Fumble the ball away on the 15. defense gets off the field, offside, bang, bang, Ohio State scores, you got to answer because this Ohio State team is way too good with a multiple possession lead, in particular when they get their pass rushers on the field and get them going. So Patterson's got to answer here. This is a huge drive for Michigan in the course of this game.
3:15 remaining in the first half. Michigan with all 3 timeouts as they start this series. From the 25, first down. Here's a handoff. Charbonnet, not a lot of room. Will gain a yard, maybe a yard and a half on the play, as Pete Werner stands him up.
The most success that they've had is with their tight ends, Gus, today, getting the ball to their tight ends. You see Peoples-Jones has had a nice day. Patterson has been very good for Josh Gaddis, the offensive coordinator. But when they've gotten those tight ends on the linebackers, that's when the explosion plays have happened, and they've been able to get the ball down the field quickly.
Second down and 8 at the 27. Ronnie Bell, the motion man. Here's Patterson with time over the middle. And it's caught. Donovan Peoples-Jones inside Ohio State territory. Pete Werner tracks him down after a gain of 24.
This throw is ridiculously good. I mean, there is a linebacker underneath and a safety over the top, and Patterson threads the needle. Peoples-Jones comes down with it. That's unreal right there. I mean, you talk about confidence from a quarterback. Patterson just threaded it.
Peoples-Jones, 3 catches, 69 yards, and a touchdown. First down at the Ohio State 49. Patterson to throw it again. Guns it underneath, and caught in heavy traffic by Ronnie Bell, and he took a lick, but held on. A 17-yard gain, and he's hurt.
He is still down. He took that one right in the chest. You talk about courage from a wide receiver. That's the middle linebacker, Tough Borland, who goes in, looks to be legal, right to the chest, leading with primarily his shoulder, and Bell hung on to that football. What an incredible catch.
Ronnie Bell, only 1 catch for 6 yards against Indiana last week. He came into this game with 37 catches for 616 yards, averaging 18.8 yards per catch this year. He's a big play guy as he walks off on his own.
Got to think that he maybe just got that wind knocked out of him there, trying to take a few deep breaths. I tell you what's allowed Michigan to get the ball down the field. Gus, we have not called Chase Young's name at all. He has not been a factor rushing the quarterback yet. Huge credit to the protection plan from Josh Gaddis and these offensive tackles for Michigan. No tackles, no sacks, no QB hits. Young has been a non-factor.
First down and 10 at the 32. Patterson gives it up. And Michigan's Zach Charbonnet picks up 6 yards. Jonathan Cooper with the tackle for the Buckeyes.
This drive cannot end in a field goal for Michigan. They have got to put this in the end zone, get some confidence going into halftime. And remember, Ohio State gets the ball to start the second half. Monster possession right now.
4 receiver package for the Wolverines. 2nd and 4 at the 26. Patterson drops it off near side. Nico Collins kept running and gets to the Ohio State 5. Amir Reep with the tackle after a 21-yard pickup.
Way too much respect there with the cushion that they were giving Nico Collins, afraid of his ability to get down the field and use that big frame in the end zone. And that was an easy pitch and catch. And now Michigan is set up perfectly. Down here, they love the tight ends. They also love going to Nico Collins because of his frame. On the outside, Collins right now matched up one-on-one.
Remember, Shea Patterson can run. 1st and goal at the Ohio State 5. Patterson looking. Patterson near side, incomplete. McCune, the tight end, the intended receiver.
Warner was in coverage. McCune was trying to get loose. Warner gave a little grab, and then that was what caused McCune to come up just a hair short. There was the tight end action. Now you got to wonder on 2nd down. I got to think that they're going to try to give a big wide receiver a shot here. Peoples-Jones is going to the top of your screen. Nico Collins is coming down. He'll be at the bottom of your screen. Looks to be in one-on-one with Damon Arnett.
Remember, Peoples-Jones is 6'2". Nico Collins is 6'4". Got a timeout on the field. Call by Ohio State. Back in a moment. And don't forget, the Big Noon Halftime Show, sponsored by State Farm, is standing by at the half right here. At the Big House, Rob Stone, Brady Quinn, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, and Coach Meyer join Charles Woodson. A lot of Heisman Trophy winners on that set. National champions on that set. Wow.
Oh, man.
See, Matt's got a national championship. Reggie's got a national championship. Charles has a national championship. Urban Meyer has 3 national championships.
What's wrong with Brady?
Brady was given a national championship when he was born with those looks.
That's right. He won life's national championship.
Handsome man. Second down and goal at the 5-yard line for Shea Patterson.
Too good.
Here's Patterson handing it off. Jackson, can he get outside? No. Damon Arnett, Pete Werner. And that brings up 3rd down and goal.
Boy, I love Arnett's willingness to be aggressive from that corner position. He's the one that came late and got Jackson out of bounds. And now on 3rd down, it's Patterson time. He's got to go in there and make a play. Arnett doing that all with a broken right hand. He's got a cast on that hand. It has not stopped him at all. He's been terrific all season long. Certainly showed up there, and it looks like Harbaugh is going down to potentially call a timeout here. He's talking to the official here near side about the 15-yard line.
So a timeout called by Jim Harbaugh. First charge timeout for the Wolverines. Before NFL games kick off tomorrow, download the Fox Sports Super 6 app and play Super 6 NFL Sunday for free for a chance to win Terry Bradshaw's money. Do you go for 2? I mean, is this a 4-down situation for Michigan, or do you take the points if you don't score?
Man, I think that you would have to take the points. You know, go 28-16.
Remember, Ohio State gets the ball to start the second half.
Got to get it. You've got to think about possessions, right? So to me, I think you got to get it into the 2-possession game. You take the points right now, and you think about matchups. I explained the big wide receivers. Remember, Shaun Wade, a starting nickel corner for Ohio State, has been out. Amir Reep is on the field, number 10. He's lined up with Ronnie Bell in the slot high side. I wonder if they'll attack Amir Reep here.
3rd down and goal at the 5 for Shea Patterson. Here's Patterson to throw it. Patterson looking. Caught. Touchdown Wolverines. Donovan Peoples-Jones.
They waved it off late as if he came down and did not hold on to the catch. The back judge came in really late. Peoples-Jones goes up, comes down with it. The back judge had a great look because Peoples-Jones was turned towards him, and he emphatically came in. Dominique Pender is the back judge, and he called it incomplete right away. And it looks to be an excellent call. Certainly didn't look like he had control when that ball hit the ground, and Jim Harbaugh will take the points here, or at least try to take the points.
When Nordine, who makes an extra point early, in to attempt a field goal. Got it up and good. 28-16, Michigan settles for 3. Closing moments of the first half in Ann Arbor. Welcome back. 28-16 our score. Michigan has had opportunities. A fumble inside their own 20. Donovan Peoples-Jones has that ball knocked away. So instead of a touchdown, they settle for 3 points. Josh Gaddis trying to encourage his star wide receiver out of Cass Tech High School in Detroit. Played for legendary coach Thomas Welcher, who was a Michigan running back.
Partner, those are a couple of huge mistakes. That drop, Shea Patterson's fumble, the offside. That's the reason we're sitting here in a 28-16 game.
Kicked out of the end zone.
I think Jim Harbaugh was upset that Chase Young potentially used the back of the offensive lineman to hop over and attempt to block this kick. You see how his left hand was maybe down, and Jim Harbaugh was really upset, thought he might get an opportunity to get a free first down and another attempt at the end zone.
Michigan doing a solid job on Chase Young in the first half as Justin Fields takes the knee. Ohio State heads into the locker room. J.K. Dobbins with 100 yards rushing in the first half. And the Buckeyes lead it 28-16. Coming up after this short break, we'll get you to Rob Stone and the guys for the big noon halftime show right here at Michigan Stadium. It's 28-16. Welcome back. Gus Johnson along with Joel Klatt. First half, mistakes for Michigan, no mistakes for Ohio State.
Yeah, exactly. And Ohio State capitalized on those mistakes. They had some opportunities, Michigan, to get off the field. They were unable to do so. Generally, that led to touchdowns for Ohio State. Let's take a look at some football insights brought to you by AT&T Business Edge-to-Edge Zone, where intelligence covers every edge of the field. Here was a third down. Dobbins gets loose. Great play call by Ryan Day. Dobbins takes it down inside the 10. He caps it off. That was the first possession of the game. Here was a 2nd and long. 2nd and 19. Garrett Wilson gets loose on one of those crossing routes. What happens? Capitalization. Dobbins in the end zone. Then the big mistake. The Wolverines offside on a punt on a 4th down, and right away Ohio State, they were able to get into the end zone. That's really the difference in the game, as well as the fact that Gus, twice Shea Patterson drove Michigan down inside the 15. He had a fumble. Then Donovan Peoples-Jones dropped the touchdown pass, and that's really the difference in the game.
Ohio State, Justin Fields, he's had a great ability, partner, in this game to throw the deep ball. He found Olave. He's found Garrett Wilson. All set up on that play action fake because J.K. Dobbins is able to really run the ball effectively in the first half.
Good, isn't he, Dobbins? We talked about him before the game, and the workhorse mentality that Dobbins had. 36 carries last week against Penn State. In the last 18 games between these two teams, the team that wins the rushing battle wins the game. Right now, Gus, Ohio State 119 yards, Michigan 35, and that's why J.K. Dobbins is our fourth unstoppable player of the game so far. Dobbins has done it all, receiving out of the backfield, carrying the rock out of the backfield, 17 carries, 103 yards. He's averaging over 6 a pop, and he's got those 3 tugs, giving a big OH to the faithful that traveled up here north.
J.K. Dobbins, 17 carries, 103 yards rushing. He's averaging 6.1 yards per rush with those 3 touchdowns.
Well, and this is exactly what Ohio State wanted to do, is play on their terms from the lead. This is why they've been so good all year long. And this defense, which has been the #1 defense in the country, they have been hurt, and they're a bit bloodied right now. Michigan had 285 yards in that first half, 250 of them, Gus, through the air. So Shea Patterson is doing a heck of a job. And as Coach Meyer brought up, Ohio State's having a really difficult time adjusting personnel-wise to the fact that one of their starting players, Sean Wade, a corner, a nickelback, is not available right now, and that has made life difficult in the secondary for Ohio State.
Temperature starting to drop a bit with the wind, 36 degrees currently.
We may get some moisture here in the second half as well.
And Michigan will send it away. Jake Moody, Demario McCall, the deep man for the Buckeyes.
Hey, she's in love with who I am.
28-16. Second half underway in Ann Arbor. And they'll let this one go into the end zone for a touchback. Let's go downstairs and check in with Jenny Taft.
Well, guys, I addressed those mistakes with Coach Harbaugh immediately, and he said, look, we lost some points out there, but we're moving on, whole new half. Overall, I am satisfied with what I'm seeing offensively. And defensively, our guys are playing with all the confidence in the world if we can get some stops. Now, Coach Day said about his defense, he says those big stops in the first were crucial. They could be a difference maker. In terms of getting Chase Young more involved, he said he's going to keep chipping away. I'm not worried about that. And Joel, you mentioned Shaun Wade. He actually is available. They're just holding him for now.
Justin Fields starts at his own 25 here in the third quarter. He's 8 of 16, 200 yards passing and a touchdown passing. Olave, the motion man. Dobbins on first down with running room. First down, JK hits the edge, turns on the speed, down the sideline, and a huge run for JK Dobbins. 41 yards. Josh Metellus pushes him out of bounds.
Right here, Khaleke Hudson has got to maintain outside leverage. He's the contained player. As soon as he allows Dobbins outside, there's nobody left, and everybody is chasing one of the most explosive players in college football. A mistake from Hudson there and his gap control. He's got to maintain his outside arm free, and he can't allow Dobbins to get outside of that position.
18 carries, 144 yards, and 3 rushing touchdowns for Dobbins. First down, play fake. Fields looks backside. Now he finds Dobbins open for first. JK lowers his shoulder and gets inside the 15. Go get it and come back with it. That's what JK Dobbins, his father Lawrence, said to his son.
He's a complete back. I love watching guys like this. They can run it between the tackles. They can run it outside the tackles. He can catch it out of the backfield. He's a terrific blocker. This dude is the complete package.
First down and 10 at the 13 for the Buckeyes. Dobbins again. Tripped up and taken down. Daxton Hill with the tackle.
It comes down to this. In a game that's 28-16, Ohio State's the #1 team in the country. This game, Gus, falls on the offensive line. If they just win up front and win the line of scrimmage, they will end up winning this game. The only chance Michigan has is to start slowing down the run game, forcing Fields into opportunities that he's not comfortable with, like third, second and long from the pocket, and maybe they can get a turnover and turn this thing around. But if they just continue to give up yards on the ground, it'll be a slow death for the Wolverines.
Second down and 7. Fields rolling out, looking. And Fields will just take it out of play. Oh, McGrone with the late hit. And now they'll get in his face. 76, Bowen doesn't like that. Cameron McGrone, the talented linebacker from Indianapolis.
Cannot give this team free first downs. Clearly out of bounds. No reason for that hit. McGrone knows better than that. He's played great all year long. Mistakes like this will kill you against Ohio State. They are the superior team. Michigan has to play clean in order to win. Ryan Day knew it. Flag came out right away.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on the defense. Holding defense, number 24. That penalty enforced after the play was over. Personal foul, late hit out of bounds defense, number 44. That penalty be also enforced, half the distance, automatic first down.
The reason both of those are enforced is one's a dead ball, the live ball foul. So what happens in a dead ball situation, then that penalty is marked off wherever the play ends. So if there's a penalty within that play, like a holding defensively, it goes to that point, and then they tack on the dead ball foul. So both of those go against Michigan, and it's first and goal for Ohio State. They've gone right down the field.
Opening series of the second half of the Buckeyes. Michigan digging a deeper hole for themselves, as Ohio State now has a first down and goal at the Michigan 2. Dobbins already has 3 touchdowns rushing in this game.
Jim Harbaugh wanted clarification of what I was just explaining. He's saying, why did you tack on both of those penalties against one live ball, one's dead ball, both get enforced?
So here we go, first down and goal to the 2-yard line. Dobbins and Fields in the backfield. Here's JK, and he slips behind the line of scrimmage. McGrone covers him up. You talked about that offensive line, though. A lot of people think Oregon's offensive line is the best in the country. Some people thought that Wisconsin's line was the best in the country. I think this is the best line in the country.
Well, they've done a great job. They've been one of the better rushing teams in the land. In fact, when you're looking at just Power 5 teams, they're the #1 Power 5 rushing team in the country, and in large part because of what those guys have done up front. Josh Myers, 71 to center. He's their leader up front. He sets the tone, makes all the calls. You hear him barking right now at his 2 guards.
Second down and goal at the 4. Dobbins. Oh, Dobbins caught by Quiddy Play behind the line of scrimmage. Or actually make that Chris Hinton there as well.
Great job here. Watch, he's going to just break into the middle. And then he's right there. And Hinton, who's a true freshman from Jones Creek, Georgia. His father, Chris, was an 8-time NFL All-Pro offensive lineman. Heck of a player from a true freshman standpoint. Makes a big play.
Buckeyes lose 2 yards. Empty backfield for Fields. And a timeout called by the Wolverines prior to the snap.
Prior to the ball being snapped. First charge. Team timeout, Michigan.
11:21 to go, third quarter. Ohio State leading and knocking on the door. 100,000 watching this heated rivalry. Third down and goal at the 6-yard line for Ohio State.
Gus, out of this bunch set, look for one of these players at the bottom of the formation to burst out into the flat and try to outrun the defense to the pylon.
Usually it's Olave, 17. Here's Fields. He fires in the end zone. Touchdown Buckeyes. KJ Hill.
Ohio State touchdown.
Well, they used that action that I was just explaining to try to confuse Michigan in the man-to-man. Tight end's going to go on the outside, and then KJ Hill's just going to come and he's going to hook up into the end zone. It's a beautiful little concept. It spreads the defense out. Fields has time to throw, and he delivers an accurate pass for the touchdown.
34-16. First catch of the game for KJ Hill. Extra point for Haubeil is good. KJ Hill has now caught at least one pass in 46 straight games. Big one here, a touchdown. Buckeyes up in standings, presented by Discover.
Ohio State has already punched their ticket to Indianapolis, and then that game today up in Minneapolis, Wisconsin and Minnesota. Winner of that game will face the Buckeyes next week. It's going to be amazing. Don't forget to tune in to the Big Ten Championship game presented by Discover, December 7th on Fox.
Giles Jackson picks it up, crosses the 20, and is shut down at the 22-yard line. And look who's here. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell in attendance of the big game, or the game.
This game transcends all levels of football. Roger Goodell here, commissioner of the NFL. We had Hail to the Victors being played for Tom Brady's press conference earlier this week for the GOAT. And everybody tuning in to watch Michigan and Ohio State tangle in the greatest rivalry in sport.
First down and 10 at the 22. Patterson. He's got work to do. Patterson delivers, incomplete. Damon Arnett knocks that one down. They wanted to attack him with Donovan Peoples-Jones. Well defended for Arnett.
Beautiful coverage, and we talked earlier in the year about Damon Arnett. He made the decision to come back to school to work on his craft. He thought about leaving for the league, and he was told by a few different people, hey, you got work to do, and he's come back motivated, and he's had a sensational season, even with a lot of that season being that cast, having that cast on his right hand.
Second down and 10 at the 22. This time they'll run it, and with running room, Haskins looks like he's short of the first down by a half yard. Baron Browning brings him down.
What you normally see from Jeff Hafley and Greg Madison, the co-defensive coordinators, is that Ohio State starts to play a style of defense where they're going to say, hey, you can take your 4 and 5 yards at a time, go ahead and hand the ball off as the clock continues to run, because we're banking on the fact that, one, we're better than you, in particular in pass rush situations, and there's too much room between you and us as far as margin goes.
They pick up the first down, and they run it on first down after the 10-yard gain. Baron Browning, though, just gobbles up Haskins behind the line of scrimmage.
Gus, you and I did a lot of Ohio State games last year. The difference in this defense a year ago from what we're seeing this year has been drastic. The improved play now that former Michigan coach Greg Madison came to Ohio State with Jeff Hafley. Those co-defensive coordinators have made a huge difference for the Buckeyes.
Second down and 11 to the 31. Patterson under pressure over the middle, caught Ronnie Bell. Seven Banks with the tackle, 17-yard pickup.
And look exactly where they're attacking. I told you, Shaun Wade is not in this game. He's being held out right now. So whether it's Amir Reep, Cameron Brown, Seven Banks, who's ever in there in that slot position, Michigan is attacking that player, and they're doing it with a lot of success. There's Wade on the sideline. They've thrown the ball now for 267 yards. Ohio State came into this day as one of the best pass defenses in the entire country, and Shea Patterson has shredded them up to this point.
First down at the 48. Down 35-16. Patterson pulls it out, throws on the move, back shoulder throw to Eubanks, incomplete. When you talk about defense, well, Ohio State, what a job they've done. #1 in scoring defense, giving up 10 points a game. #1 in total defense, giving up 217 a game. #1 in pass defense, giving up 126 points a game. Different story, though, as you mentioned, this Michigan team able to shred them through the air.
Yep, but they just haven't capitalized when they got inside the 15.
Second down and 10 at the 48. Quiet day so far for Chase Young. Play fake. Patterson steps up in the pocket, and he's sacked. They just ripped him down. First sack of the game, and it's Jonathan Cooper.
And how about this? Jonathan Cooper had 1 game left to play. They're planning on redshirting him. He's a senior. He's gotten banged up, and Jonathan Cooper had 1 more. He's played 3. He can play in 1 more and still redshirt. They decide to use him here, and he comes up with a huge play. Cooper's going to be back next year in Columbus, wants to make that decision for his football future, and he's got this 1 opportunity to go and sell out against Michigan.
Third down and 16 at the 42. Patterson gets it off. Patterson over the middle and incomplete. Bell, the intended receiver, he threw that one into heavy traffic. Ronnie Bell couldn't scoop it up.
And he really needs to make this catch. That was a pretty good throw, and Bell got popped hard earlier in the game going over the middle, and it looks like he just slowed up a hair and didn't quite get that ball secured, understanding that Jordan Fuller, #4, the safety, was waiting there for a big hit.
Now Will Hart comes in the punt for Michigan, standing at his own 27. Garrett Wilson, the deep man, lets it bounce over his head, and it takes a bounce. And into the end zone for a touchback.
All that ball has to do is touch the goal line as if you're trying to score it, and as it was rolling towards the end zone, it just touches the plane of that goal line. Huge break for Ohio State.
Michigan won 5 times during that span. Ohio State 4, and they played to a draw in 1973. As long as I can remember, this game has been the game. When you say have fun, I don't know how to have fun unless you're singing the fight song after you've beaten one of your rivals. 1st and 10 at the 20 for Fields. And he runs it, slides down, close to the first down marker.
Michigan has only stopped Ohio State on 1 possession. That was the 2nd possession of the game. Now, one of them, they got the punt team on the field but jumped offside, but it's been really up and down the field for this offense, led by Justin Fields and largely J.K. Dobbins. Dobbins not on the field right now. Master Teague in the backfield.
Dobbins, 21 carries, 143 yards. Fields looking, guns it to the sideline, And it's caught by Austin Mack. 15-yard gain. Looked like he threw that one 30 yards.
And unfortunately, he is down right now in the backfield. Fields took a shot. You're right, partner. He threw it on the far side, and as he's going, oh no, he got rolled up on that left leg. No.
35-16. Star quarterback down.
Medical tent, and now it's Chris Chugginoff in at quarterback.
On first down, they run it. Chugginoff has played in 9 games. He's from Skillman, New Jersey. He's 25 of 41 this year for 275 yards and 6 touchdowns. He's a graduate transfer from West Virginia. Started 2 games in 2017 for the Mountaineers.
Well, look for just tight man coverage and selling out to stop this run game. They're going to try to get up there because that's where Ohio State is going to have to live. Now the game becomes about their offensive line even more with the backup quarterback in.
Second down and 9. Master Teague remains in the game at running back. Master Teague cuts it inside, and he'll gain close to 5 yards on the play. They give him 4.
Well, here's the test, right? Cold day. Backup quarterback. Third down. Does Ryan Day put it on the shoulder of Chris Chugginoff?
Chugginoff play fake. Delivers underneath and throws a strike at the 41-yard line to K.J. Hill. That's a first down, a gain of 10.
Beautiful adjustment by K.J. Hill. This ball's a bit behind him and low, and he goes all the way back down to make that catch before it hits the turf. Beautiful play from the senior, and Don Brown hates it.
First down at the 40-yard line for Ohio State. Chris Chugginoff in for Justin Fields in the game. Master T pushes the pile forward, uses that strong frame. He'll gain 5.
And that's what this O-line needs to continue to do for the backup quarterback. Watch the push up front, winning that line of scrimmage. You see that blue line, something went wrong defensively, and they're just leaning on Michigan's defense, and Teague just stays behind them and gains 5.
Second down and 5 at the 35. Teague again, plunging forward. Think about this Ohio State team. They've been ahead so many times this season. Chugginoff has actually gotten some opportunities to run the show for Ohio State.
Yeah. As you mentioned, 6 touchdowns. He's been out there quite a bunch because of the margin of victory that they've had all year long. So he's not in foreign territory here, but this is certainly the biggest environment that he's played in. There's no doubt.
Third down and 2. Master Teague looking for the first down, and he has it.
Michigan's got to change something up front. You know, they're trying to play kind of base defense, and this offensive line is just winning. I mean, 3 carries for an easy first down. They're getting up to the linebacker. That's Josh Myers, 71, getting up to Cameron McGrone in the middle of the field. They got to start slanting and stunting and doing something to combat that big offensive line.
First down at the 30. Ohio State in no rush with a 35-16 lead. Now Justin Fields has his helmet on. Looks like he's ready to come back in. Ruckert in motion. Chugginoff rolls out of the pocket, throws on the move, and incomplete. Garrett Wilson, the intended receiver.
Well, he rolls out. I want you to watch the backside of this. KJ Hill was wide open. He's got almost a touchdown in his pocket if he goes deep. He tries to throw short into coverage and now presents a longer second down. And Justin Fields will come back onto the field. Knee brace now on that left leg. Thank goodness he's okay after that scary play earlier this drive.
10th play of the drive that started at the Ohio State 20. 2nd and 10 for Fields. He's got the hardware on the leg. Fields to throw it. Pump fake. Scrambles. Sets. Fires. Touchdown, Garrett Wilson. Wow. Justin Fields comes off the bench and throws a strike. A 30-yard score, and Ohio State takes a 41-16 lead.
Have a day, Garrett Wilson. Unbelievable. What a play. Wilson stays alive, gets the feet down in the end zone. That was a dime by Fields. Think about it. Fields is running dead left as fast as he can on a knee that he just banged up, has a knee brace, and he flips his hips and delivers a beautiful ball to the back of the end zone to the freshman receiver. That's incredible.
Garrett Wilson, 3 catches, 118 yards, and a touchdown. Buckeyes. Fields. Looks like this young man will be heading to New York. He is definitely in the conversation now for the Heisman Trophy. And don't forget to check out all of Joel's Breaking the Huddle content at foxsports.com/breakingthehuddle and on Fox Sports social platforms, sponsored by Dr. Pepper. Last year in this game, it was a different freshman, Chris Olave, making a huge impact as Jackson picks it up. And Jackson tackle from behind. This year, a different freshman, Garrett Wilson, with a 100-yard receiving game for Ohio State. Young man out of Austin, Texas. Big-time prospect, having a career day.
You know, one of the things that Michigan does really well defensively is they take away your first option. That bracket style of coverage that they run occasionally, in particular on passing downs, takes away your first option. They double team those guys. So Hill's gotten doubled, Olave has gotten doubled. And what that does, Gus, is it leaves other players out there with the opportunity to make plays. Garrett Wilson has made those plays. You talk about playing big in your first big opportunity. This is crazy.
First down, Patterson. Underneath and incomplete. Donovan Peoples-Jones couldn't bring it in.
Too many mistakes from Michigan. This is a team that is really talented. They were playing their best football, but against Ohio State, who has been the most dominant, the most complete team in the country so far this year, they had to play mistake-free, and they haven't been able to do that. They haven't capitalized when they had opportunities. They've driven inside the 15 twice, had to settle for just 1 field goal, turned it over once. Can't do those sort of things and think you're going to beat Ohio State.
2nd and 10. Patterson again off his back foot, underneath, incomplete. Peoples-Jones. Looks like back-to-back drops. Michigan right now rattled a bit, losing their concentration. 3:35 to go in the 3rd.
Yeah, that's a couple of series in a row now that we've seen Shea deliver a ball that should be caught by his wide receivers, and that's 3 drops in the last 2 series.
3rd down and 10.
I wonder when this guy's going to show up, right? Chase Young.
Here's Shea Patterson under heavy pressure, thrown behind his intended receiver, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Michigan will have to punt it away.
And Gus, you just got the sense that it was about to happen. Watch this speed rush from Chase Young. He gets the hands of the offensive lineman out, turns the corner, gets right to the quarterback, and delivers a huge hit to Patterson right after he delivered the ball. And Young now starting to get a little pressure as Michigan is in a pass-only scenario.
Robbins in the punt now for Michigan from the 11.
Deep for Ohio State is Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson, the deep man for Ohio State. And he muffed it. Loose, picked up. Looks like Michigan will have the football at the 26-yard line.
Wow. Garrett Wilson, who's having a great day, muffs the punt. You cannot advance a muffed punt. So right where the recovery happens, it'll be first down for Michigan. Wilson with the swirling wind. It goes off of his chest, bounces right to Michigan. What a break.
The kick was muffed, and it cannot be advanced by the kicking team. It'll be Michigan's football at the 26-yard line, first down and 10.
So Wilson will take off the punt returner's jersey. That wind is a factor here in Ann Arbor. So the Wolverines catch a break. First down inside Ohio State territory.
It's been one of the only things that Ohio State has been hurt. That's a third muffed punt of the season. Wilson muffed one just a couple of weeks ago at Rutgers.
Patterson floats one in the air and incomplete. Giles Jackson again, the intended receiver.
Partner, guess who's there? Damon Arnett, number 3. Man, he's played well today, hasn't he? He's played well in run defense, coming up from his corner position. Perfect timing there against Giles Jackson. They wanted to try to test Damon Arnett, and he is up to the task today. He's been sensational with that cast on his right hand.
Second down, 10 of the 26. Patterson 1 for 8 in the second half. Wolverines running. They'll be lucky to get 2 yards on the play. Zach Charbonnet running it.
You know, this tends to happen. I feel like Josh Gaddis needs to get back to the tight ends. He's tried to make this all about the wide receivers, but remember how effective the tight ends were against the linebackers in the early part of this game, and we have not seen that for the better part of 2 quarters.
Third down and 11 at the 27. Shea Patterson guns it near side. And Nico Collins just couldn't bring it in. Michigan just having problems holding on to the football, their receivers.
Yeah, they can't even catch it to hold on to it at this point. That's a 4th drop in the last 2 series.
Fans not happy.
Well, that's because they're running the field goal unit on, and
Nordine missed an extra point in the first half. Came in and kicked the field goal 23 yards. This one from 45 yards away. He's got a strong leg. And it's good. 2:33 to play. Third quarter, 42-19. (42-19) Ohio State. Michigan catches a break on the Garrett Wilson muffed punt. They settle for 3 points with 2:33 to play here in the third.
Got to give Ohio State's defense a lot of credit. They've given up a lot of yardage compared to what they have during the course of the entire season. But partner, when they've gotten down there in scoring territory, Michigan's offense, 3 different times now Ohio State has forced them into a turnover and now 2 field goals. And when you're trading field goals for touchdowns, you are not going to beat the Buckeyes.
This one kicked deep for a touchback. Tomorrow on Fox, do we have a good one for you? I tell you we do. Jimmy Garoppolo leads the 49ers against MVP candidate Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Check local listings for the game in your area or catch it on the Fox Sports app.
Didn't Jim Harbaugh light up when we mentioned what his brother was doing with the MVP frontrunner Lamar Jackson and Greg Roman, who, by the way, Greg Roman was with San Francisco when Jim was there, and Colin Kaepernick, and Greg Roman is now in Baltimore. And man, isn't Lamar fun to watch?
Oh my goodness.
He straight up did the Rams, just killed them.
First down to the 25 for Ohio State. Fields handing it to J.K. Dobbins back in the game now. And Dobbins will be tackled for a loss. Josh Metellus in at the end to take him down.
Michigan's got no chance unless they can stop the run like they did there on first down. So they got to completely sell out. What that does is it leaves your corners and safeties on an island in one-on-one coverage, and it's going to give Fields an opportunity to get big passing plays down the field to guys like Olave or Garrett Wilson, like we've seen during the course of this day.
J.K. Dobbins, 22 carries, 143 yards. He's averaging 6.5 yards per carry with 3 touchdowns. On second down, Dobbins again will bull his way forward. One thing you like about Dobbins and you like about great running backs, they always have a knack for falling forward. That's what Emmitt Smith was brilliant at.
One of the things I always think of is are you a plus carrier? What that means, Gus, is like if the offensive line blocks it for 2, you can't just get 2. You got to get 4. If they block it for 4, you got to get 6. If they block it for 6, you got to get 20. And that's what Dobbins does. He is a plus carrier. He's got forward lean. He's strong, fast. He's just a complete back. I love watching him play.
Second down and 6. Make that third down and 6 at the 29. Here's Fields. Steps into his throw and knocked away. Lavert Hill. Well defended. And Ohio State will be faced with a 4th and 6, so they'll punt it away.
And that's what this defense needed, is a stop. They haven't had one since the second possession of the game. And Hill and Benjamin Victor are tangled up there. A lot of contact between the two. And Hill almost picked that off as he was coming back and trying to get to that ball. A lot of contact there as that ball was thrown by Justin Fields.
Only the second punt of the game for Chrisman, standing at his own 16. Donovan Peoples-Jones, the deep man, at the 32. And his fair caught at the 40. College hoops is just around the corner, and FS1 has a big one in store for you in this December. The Cleveland Classic will pit Ohio State against West Virginia, the Big Ten facing off against the Big 12 Sunday, December 29th, exclusively on FS1. Tickets are now on sale at RocketMortgageFieldhouse.com. Ohio State's basketball team undefeated. Got a big game coming up with North Carolina at the Dean Dome this week.
Michigan a couple of big wins here as of late for Juwan Howard.
That's right. John Beilein left the cupboard full for the Wolverines. First down at the 40. Haskins with room. Haskins turns on the Jets and goes down to the Buckeye 25. Baron Browning with the saving tackle, but it's a 35-yard gain.
The Buckeyes get stuck in man coverage. Watch this. Fuller is going to vacate when McCune goes across the formation, the tight end. That leaves that open area on the left side. The offensive line opened it up, and Haskins, who's been really good this back half of the season, explodes for a run there.
Haskins, in his first career start against Notre Dame, had career highs of 20 carries for 149 yards and a 14-yard touchdown. 2 weeks earlier against Illinois, he ran for 125 yards and a touchdown and had 3 runs of 20 or more.
And that stoppage, Gus, was Damon Arnett was shaking up the corner for Ohio State and had to come out of the game. So now you've got Sevyn Banks, number 12. He's at the bottom of your screen. Let's see if Michigan takes a shot at Sevyn Banks.
And they'll run it. Haskins breaking tackles. He'll get 9 on the play. Haskins is moved between linebacker and running back.
Watch out here. Giles Jackson checks in at running back. When he's been in the backfield, Giles Jackson for Josh Gaddis has been in the pass route, in particular to the short side. They love this wheel route out of the backfield.
Second down and 1 at the 18. Patterson pulls it out. Incomplete. McCune, the tight end, on a crossing route. That makes it third down and 1.
Just out of his reach, out of that play action. And McCune just can't bring it down as he was working against Malik Harrison and had a step there.
And that'll take us to the end of the third quarter. Well, 1 second remaining, so Michigan has a chance to get the play off. Third down and 1. Patterson keeps it, looking for the first down, turns a corner. I don't know. It's close. Looks like He'll get it, and that'll take us to the end of the third quarter. Ohio State with the big lead, but Michigan refusing to quit. Back to the Big House for the fourth after this. Fox College Football is sponsored by AT&T Business, one of the great rivalries in all of sports. Michigan, Ohio State, 42-19, the #1 team in the country. The Ohio State Buckeyes look terrific. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, Jenny Taft, Mike Pereira with you. Wolverines, first down and 10 at the 17-yard line. For Shea Patterson, the offense. Here's Patterson under pressure. Chase Young chasing him, and he just throws it away. Chase Young is yet to record a sack in this game. He's been close a couple of times.
I think that they might throw a flag here for intentional grounding, because that ball did not get to the line of scrimmage. No, they're going to give it to him and give him the benefit of the doubt. They get that line, they get it extended, but I thought it was short of that line of scrimmage when it was headed out of bounds, but it'll be second down.
Second down and 10 of the 17. Eubanks in motion. Patterson steps into his throw in the corner, and McCune with the grab. A 15-yard pickup on 2nd and 10.
Great route here from McCune. Watch as he's going to work straight up the field, and he's working against Baron Browning, the linebacker. That's a matchup Michigan likes, and you can see why. McCune goes up and snatches it out of the air. Great hands, strong hands at the catch point, and holding on to the football as he goes down to the ground.
Wolverines in the Wildcat formation. Hassan Haskins runs it. Haskins, touchdown, Michigan. (42-25) as we start the fourth quarter.
It looks like they're going to go for a 2 here as Patterson will come back onto the field. Here's the last play. Ben Mason in there at fullback. And watch as Haskins, he's going to go, and then he's going to find his way back to that right side. Good vision and the ability to find the open area and get the ball into the end zone for a touchdown.
So now, 2-point conversion coming up.
With the choice of where you want the football, so they select that right hash.
Patterson to throw it, lets it go in the corner, and incomplete, but a flag on the play.
I got to tell you, I don't quite understand why they're going for 2 now. I would get it to 2 possessions. No.
Holding. Number 26, defense. Half the distance. Replay the try.
So here's 26, Cameron Brown. And he's going against Ronnie Bell. A clear hold there. Kind of drags him down. That's where they wanted to go with the football. But Gus, an extra point makes it 16. That's 2 possessions. I don't agree with chasing the points now. I think you kick the extra point, make it a 2-possession game, save the kind of, I don't want to call it desperation, but save the harder play, the 2-point conversion for later. Maybe Nordin's miss earlier in the game on an extra point has scared Jim Harbaugh away.
Wildcat formation for the 2 points. Haskins stiff arming, and he gets it. And a flag. And it looks like the flag is going to go against Ohio State.
Well, they both had each other's face mask. This is interesting because when Fuller comes up, watch Fuller, number 4.
Face mask, defense, penalty is declined. The result of the cry is 2 points.
Fuller clearly grabs Haskins' face mask. Haskins was trying to stiff arm but never grabbed the mask of Fuller. There was no yank, didn't turn his head, so it's just on the defense, and the conversion is good for Haskins. Excellent job by those officials to get together and get it right.
So Michigan Goes for the 2. They get it. Momentum shifting a bit. But can Don Brown's defense stop the Buckeyes? That's the question.
Desperate to get this into a one-possession game late into the fourth quarter. We haven't seen that from Ryan Day. Now the wind is swirling, it's gusting. The conditions are deteriorating a little bit here in the fourth quarter, and it should make catching these kickoffs very difficult.
We've seen a muffed punt by Garrett Wilson in this game. Demario McCall is the deep man for the Buckeyes.
I don't see this ball getting past the 10-yard line with this wind right now.
And it won't, as it's fair caught in front of the 10 at the 12. Coming up next on Fox, number 16 Notre Dame and Stanford renew their rivalry. Then at 8 Eastern, it's Bedlam in Stillwater, where Jalen Hurts and number 7 Oklahoma face off with the nation's leading rusher Chuba Hubbard and number 21 Oklahoma State. Both games are also available on the Fox Sports app.
Well, two things going on here now. The foundation of putting a team away is the offensive line in the run game. The foundation of a comeback is getting defensive stops. We'll see if one of the two happen here.
First down and 10 of the 25 for Justin Fields and the Buckeyes offense. J.K. Dobbins breaks it back, turns it up. That's what makes him so great right there. Incredible vision for J.K. Dobbins. Could have been a loss, but he turns that into a very nice gain.
Not only that, watch as he cuts back right here. He's going to cut back and then go straight up the field. It's just a terrific cut on Khaleke Hudson.
Gain of 10, first down at the 35. Dobbins, 24 carries, 157 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Runs it again. Another cutback. And another 9-yard gain. Khaleke Hudson with the tackle. That offensive line really firing off the ball.
Yeah, they are. And yet, here's J.K. Dobbins doing something he hasn't done a lot of, which is running the rock late in the game in the fourth quarter. In 5 games, he's only played in the fourth quarter. In 5 of those games, he's only had 20 rushing attempts. He's going to be called on to close this thing out for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Second down and 1. Fields lofts it up. He's got Olave complete. A rare drop from Chris Olave. You don't see that too often.
You just wonder if this swirling wind caught up with him, because Olave is one of the best deep ball trackers in college football. He's like a great center fielder. Ryan Day said he's almost like Deshaun Jackson, and that ball gets blown just right back into his face mask at the last second. He had 2 steps. That was a home run for the Buckeyes.
Third down and 1 at the 44. Ohio State 7 of 11 on third down conversions. Play fake. Fields and a whistle and flag.
I think that they weren't set when he snapped the ball. Hausman was trying to get into his stance. Barry wasn't even set when Fields snapped the ball, and I think that they were moving.
Prior to this ball being snapped, false start, offense, number 81. 5-yard penalty, third down. Game clock operator.
So instead of 3rd and 1, it's 3rd and 6.
So you watch Hausman right here as well as Barry. They're not even set, and Fields snaps the ball.
Rare mistake by Ohio State. 4 penalties, 45 yards. 3rd down and 6. Michigan desperately wanting to get off the field. Demario McCall lines up in the slot, out of the backfield. Here comes a blitz. Fields throws on the move, incomplete. McCall couldn't hang on, and the Buckeyes will have to punt.
Don Brown brought the pressure. Khaleke Hudson was free, had a shot at Fields, who eluded him in the backfield. But as he was on that dead sprint to his right, just could not get it to McCall around Aiden Hutchinson, and just right out of his reach. And Michigan gets the stop that they so desperately needed.
Third punt of the game for Drew Crispin. Standing at the 26, Donovan Peoples-Jones. He's the deep man. Peoples-Jones lets it go over his head and into the end zone for a touchback. So Michigan gets off the field down 42-27. Here comes Jim Harbaugh's offense. Career games with at least 250 yards passing, tying him with Tom Brady for third most in Michigan history.
Partner, he's going to need about 100 more, maybe 150 more in this game if Michigan wants to complete the comeback.
First down at his own 20-yard line. Hassan Haskins in the backfield. Peoples-Jones, the motion man. Play action. Over the middle and incomplete. Nick Eubanks, the intended receiver. And Pete Werner was right there in his hip pocket.
Good coverage by Warner, and that's what Josh Gaddis wanted to do. They went right back to these tight ends. It was really good early in the game. They've tried to get back to it here in the last couple of series. And Eubanks just unable to create any space there on Warner.
Second down and 10. Patterson off his back foot to the sideline, incomplete. He had a lot of white jerseys in his face.
He had the white jersey in his face. There he is. Check out Chase Young. Goes inside this time. Normally we see him on the speed rush outside. That time he slaps the hands down. And he's telling Shea, he's like, yeah, you better get rid of it. I'm coming.
Chase Young set the Ohio State single season sacks record with his first sack against Penn State, passing Vernon Golston last week. Third down and 10 at the 20. 16.5 sacks. Young. Patterson, sideline, caught. And it's Tariq Black. First time we've called his name today. He gains 9.
Oh, that's just maddening from a play caller and from a quarterback's position.
It looks like they're going to go for it on 4th and 1, partner.
Yeah, it does. Just, you don't know how many possessions you're going to get with how effective Ohio State has been with the run game. Just a yard short. They've got to get to the 30-yard line.
Wildcat formation. Hassan Haskins. He'll run it for the 1 yard. Can he get there? No! Ohio State's defense turns him away. And the Wolverines turn it over on downs. Devon Hamilton and Malik Harrison combining on the tackle.
Check out Robert Landers. I think he makes the play by going through the center. Cesar Ruiz right there, and then that's where there's no hole, and Landers comes back. You've got Borland in there, you've got Harrison in there. There was no push from the offensive line, the exact opposite of what we've seen from Ohio State's offensive line. Ryan Day's loving it. His defense comes up with the biggest play of the day so far.
So Ohio State with it at the Michigan 28-yard line. Dobbins. Oh, Dobbins met in the backfield and dropped immediately. Cameron McGrone. John Ross went out with an injury. McGrone stepped in, and he's played some excellent football this season.
Check out how fast McGrone gets through this hole and is in the backfield. Dobbins has got no chance for that cutback.
Second down and 12 after the 2-yard loss. Austin Mack in motion. Justin Fields with time. Fields dancing. Fields delivers near side, caught. Found a tight end, Luke Farrell. And he'll gain 14 yards and a first down.
Hudson slipped in coverage. Khaleke Hudson had him one-on-one in the back end, and when he slipped and went down, it became an easy completion and moves the chains for Ohio State.
First down and 10 of the Michigan 16. Dobbins. JK gets to the line of scrimmage, but not much more. As Khaleke Hudson and Josh Metellus combine on the stop.
And they'll continue to take as much time as they can. Not full milk the clock mode, but certainly in no hurry to snap the ball with this lead as they're trying to run it out here.
Second and 10. Fields underneath. Austin Mack, burst of speed, touchdown Buckeyes. Mack is back. Fourth touchdown pass of the game for Justin Fields.
He's coming from the outside, and as Michigan is trying to switch the coverage, watch as Thomas is trying to lay off of Hill and come back to the inside receiver. It's a blown coverage from Michigan, and Fields hung in the pocket to make the throw as Kwity Paye was bearing down on him, and it's a touchdown for Ohio State.
Extra point up and good. 49-27. Justin Fields, what a day for the young man from Georgia. Buckeyes with the lead. (49-27) Ohio State. Justin Fields has thrown 37 touchdowns this season with only one interception. Giles Jackson with the return. Jackson, very good return as he spins forward to the 35. Amir Reep with the tackle on special teams.
This kid's unbelievable, and he's the development that we've seen. Now 300 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. To take care of the football like he does in the passing game is remarkable from a young player. Transfers in. Got to give a lot of credit to him and his work ethic and his ability to not only decipher what the defense is doing, but also digest and learn this offense in such a short time. That's what impresses me. You know, he's not even a year into this offense, and he's out there operating it like he's a veteran.
First down at the 36. Patterson, and he's sacked for the second time today. This time it's Devon Hamilton.
And this is the area you don't want to be in against Ohio State because they're so good rushing the passer. Hamilton gets home there. Chase Young still on the field, and Shea Patterson is not in a position where you want to be having to throw the football against this Ohio State defensive line.
Second down and 20. Patterson again. And he was under pressure. Charbonnet out of the backfield, the intended receiver, and there is a flag.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 67. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Well, this is Landers. He comes in. He gives him a little bit of a shot late. Patterson goes down. And this is what's so tough. He's got virtually no time. Certainly just a touch late there from Landers. And that'll give Michigan a first down.
Robert Landers from Dayton, Ohio. Oldest of 3 boys, raised by his mom. First and 10 at the 40. Shea Patterson over the middle. The traffic incomplete. Wow. Donovan Peoples-Jones took a shot. And there is a flag. He's got to shake that one off.
Jordan Fuller was the one that came in with the hit. Peoples-Jones clearly in a defenseless position, so any forcible contact up high.
Targeting defense number 4. That play is under previous review.
So this will go to review. Watch as Peoples-Jones Comes across. Here's Fuller, and he's going to go in. Yeah, certainly forcible contact to the head or neck area. They're going to try to confirm all elements of targeting here in replay.
And we've got our rules analyst, Mikey Rulebooks, Mike Pereira with us. Mike, your thoughts?
Well, Joel and Gus, what you're looking at, he's a defenseless player, so you can't lead with the shoulder and make contact at the head or neck area. And of course, the key thing here is this is a targeting call in the second half, so if it does stand, then he's going to be out for the first half of the next game, the championship game, Big Ten championship.
And he is so important to this team, Mike. You make a great point. Fuller is the brains of the operation for this defense, in particular the defensive secondary. Secondary coach Jeff Hafley gives him all sorts of notes. They've already got Sean Wade that was missing time in this game, so now this secondary a bit deteriorated as they what looks to be head into the Big Ten championship game.
What do you think?
Mike, a lot of times people ask me like, well, he didn't use his head. And again, in this case, it doesn't matter because Donovan Peoples-Jones is in a defenseless posture. So he gets protection from any forcible contact to the head or neck area, which that clearly was, at least in my estimation. They're still taking a look, but.
Yeah, and remember, too, they've got to re-officiate the play here, so they got to look at it from scratch. So do you have an indicator? You know, and again, like you said, with the defenseless player, you know, I think they're looking at it and saying, is it really forcible enough? Was he actually in front of the play? I think they may not stay with this.
After further review, the ruling on the field has changed. There is no targeting. Number 4 can remain in the ball game. The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. 3rd down.
It's great news for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, for next week. I mean, that is big because, as you know, Gus, when we talk with Hafley, the co-defensive coordinator, he raves about Fuller and what he does as the brains of the operation in the back end as the free safety. And he's been a great eraser for them, in particular with his tackling ability as the lone free safety.
Fuller is a finalist for the Campbell Trophy, which recognizes the nation's top football scholar athlete. First team academic All-America with a 3.8 grade point average in business marketing. 2nd and 10. They'll run it. And it's Haskins running straight ahead for a gain of 7. Sometimes you're just amazed at what some of these young men are able to do in the classroom and on the football field. 3.8 grade point average, and you're the starting safety for Ohio State, the #1 team in the country. What a young man.
And he gets a really thick packet of notes from his secondary coach about the game plan.
3rd down and 3. I asked him one time, how do you do it? How do you maintain such a high GPA and play football at the same time? He said, hey, man, I just have to work on it. It's priority.
You generally will excel at what's important to you. You make something a priority, you make something important, and you're going to have an opportunity to excel. And that Campbell Trophy, it's one of my favorite. They invite them to New York, all the finalists for the Campbell Award, known as the Academic Heisman. They award it in a couple of weeks at the National Football Foundation's Hall of Fame banquet.
4th down and 3 for Michigan. Patterson. And incomplete, broken up. Amir Reed reached around, knocked it away for the 2nd time. The Wolverines turn it over on downs. Ronnie Bell, the intended receiver.
And we thought this defense was giving up a lot of yards, and they did in the first half. And they have clamped down on Michigan here in the second. Amir Reed making the Michigan fans hide here in the big house. Dobbins with those 4 touchdown passes joins Troy Smith and Dwayne Haskins as the only Buckeyes with 4 touchdown passes in this game. What a debut for him in D game.
Dobbins skipping through the hole. Glasgow with the tackle after a gain of 6 yards, and the numbers starting to really become gaudy for J.K. Dobbins.
Yep.
28 carries, 170 yards, 3 touchdowns with a long run of 41 yards.
And that's coming on the back, Gus. And I think this is maybe more impressive of a 36 carry, 157 yard, 2 touchdown performance last week in a top 10 matchup against Penn State, who had entered that day as the #1 rush yards per carry defense in the country.
2nd down and 4 at the 41. Dobbins again. Ohio State trying to eat up as much clock as possible. As J.K. Dobbins leans forward.
You know,
Carlo Kemp with the tackle.
You think about, Gus, these defenses that Dobbins has had to face. Michigan State, in terms of opponents' rushing average,
Look
their
at that.
FBS rate is second, first. Michigan was 8th today, and he has just been a monster in these games. 172, 163, 157, 172, all those touchdowns. I mean, he gets lost a little bit because of Chase Young and Justin Fields. I think Dobbins deserves a little consideration to go to New York.
3rd down and 2, maybe more than just a little, partner. J.K. Dobbins 1st down, of course. Let's go downstairs to JT.
Well, Gus, you've been telling J.K. Dobbins' story all day. And, you know, I had a chance to catch up with his mom, Maya, today. She is here. I asked her the experience of watching her son. She said, I am smiling all game watching him. And his work ethic, it's something he's talked about all season. Remember when he told everyone before the year started he wanted to be known as the best running back in the nation? I asked Mom about it. She said, this kid, he has been a workhorse since he was a very young one. He always was never satisfied, and that is continuing to fuel him today.
All right, thank you very much, Jenny. 1st down and 10 at the 33. J.K. Dobbins. What a day. What a life, Dobbins. 1st down, Dobbins. Dives. Touchdown, Ohio State. A career-high 4 rushing touchdowns. Go get it and come back with it. That's what his father Lawrence told him. A career high 211 yards rushing.
What does this kid not do? He's churning the clock out in between the tackles, and then bam, lightning on the outside, the explosiveness to go down and then up and over the top to put that ball over the goal line for a touchdown. What a day for J.K. Dobbins. Absolute dominant performance from Dobbins and this offensive line.
J.K. Dobbins' mom, Maya, became pregnant when she was 18 years old. She went to the doctor because she was thinking about aborting the baby, but changed her mind. That baby turned out to be that young man, J.K. Dobbins, who she calls her miracle baby.
They're just taking partner a little look here, and as he goes up and over, he's certainly across. You can judge by that look that he was over the goal line. The other looks, he was inside the pylon. Mike, nothing there that would suggest this is not a touchdown.
No, a little surprised that they stopped this, because he actually goes inbounds to out of bounds, which does mean that he has to get the ball over or inside the pylon, which he clearly does. It's a clear touchdown unless something else is being looked at here.
And maintains control up until the point the ball crosses the goal line.
Correct.
So it looks like this touchdown will stand. And when J.K.'s father, Lawrence, went to Blinn College and didn't get the playing time he wanted and quit the team, Mom Maya remembered that when J.K. got the scholarship to Ohio State.
After further review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown is confirmed.
When J.K. got the scholarship to Ohio State, his mother said, hey, you know, you're not going to play early at Ohio State. You're going to have to earn it. J.K. said to his mom, Mom, I got a scholarship to Ohio State University. I'm going to go there. I'm going to compete. I'm going to play. He rushed for 1,000 yards as a freshman. 55-27, extra point good. 6:30 to go in the fourth quarter. JK all day.
You can never knock me. You can never stop me. You can never knock me. You can never copy. You can never stop me. You can never knock me.
56-27. Ohio State looking to become 12-0. And you know, you got to give a lot of credit to Ohio State's head coach, Ryan Day, 40 years old. Don't forget the next challenge for the Bucks, Big Ten championship. They'll take on the winner of Wisconsin, Minnesota. And it's important for them to be the #1 seed, and I'll tell you why. Nobody wants to play Clemson in that semifinal.
Well, that 1 seed is important, there's no doubt, and that is the next challenge for Ohio State, the championship game, winner of Wisconsin, Minnesota. The importance of being #1 to avoid Clemson potentially, although you may have to play Clemson regardless. That is the next challenge, sponsored by Peloton. This holiday, give the gift of Peloton to your loved ones.
And Michigan running the football on first down, Haskins. But Ryan Day, how about what this man has accomplished? 40 years old in his first full season. He's 14-0 now. He owns the second longest win streak to start a career in school history. Urban Meyer won 24 straight between 2012 and 2013. First down and 10 at the 36. Patterson hasn't had the successful second half as Ronnie Bell makes the catch and picks up a first.
This defense certainly clamped down on Patterson and this offense, and it's been tough for him. Patterson has hung tough. He was not helped out by his wide receivers, Gus, in that third quarter. A couple of series where there was 4 drops by some of these wide receivers. Peoples-Jones had a couple of drops. Ronnie Bell had a couple of drops. Nico Collins had one. So this offense not on all cylinders here in the second half.
Patterson sideline. Seven Banks breaks it up. Intended for Cornelius Johnson.
And we had said coming out of halftime, and it was true, that the passing game for Michigan, they were shredding Ohio State to a point.
But you have to remember, as you always tell me, this Buckeye team is coached by a former NFL defensive backs coach.
Yeah, Jeff Hafley. And what these guys do, and I think Ryan Day does this as well on the offensive side, they make adjustments as well as anybody. And they were able to adjust against Michigan and start getting off the field.
Trey Patterson guns it underneath and incomplete for Donovan Peoples-Jones.
I mean, this is, listen, here's the deal. You get inside the 20 the amount of times that they did and not score touchdowns. You drop 6-7 passes. You turn the ball over. You jump offside on 4th down. You're not beating Ohio State. They're too good. Gus, we've seen them all year long. Ohio State's the best team in the country. The playoff committee believes it. I believe it. They're the most dominant, complete team out there. The mistakes have been rampant today from the Wolverines. There's no chance to beating Ohio State when you play like this.
3rd down and 10 at midfield. Shea Patterson. Knocked away and intercepted. Amir Reep. He's got blockers. And Reep goes down at the 50. Ohio State. Some feel that this is the most talented Buckeye team in the school's history.
Check out Reep. You want to talk about talent. This is not even a starter normally because Shaun Wade's out of the game. Amir Reep has played a ton of football today, and he goes up one-handed and gets that interception in the back end. I thought Patterson forced that ball on the outside into coverage. Reep made him pay. He was trying to get it to Nico Collins, and Reep with a huge interception. And that secondary certainly came out of the locker room with a different energy and a different sense of urgency because they played excellent football in this second half for their coach, Jeff Hafley.
And now Chris Chugunov comes in to replace Ryan Fields. Looks like he's done for the day. Master Teague will run it straight ahead. But what a job Justin Fields has done in only his first year as a starter, coming from Georgia to Ohio State. He originally had verbally committed to Penn State, then changed his mind, went to Georgia, then transferred to Columbus. 37 touchdown passes, only 1 interception. Those are hard numbers.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard
to fathom.
Trust me.
For a kid that's just starting for the first year.
Oh, man.
2nd down and 6. Teague again. He's tackled for a loss. Quiddy Pay. Let's go to Sam Farber for a game break.
Gus, our football feast continues on Fox with 9-2 Notre Dame visiting Stanford. Ian Book and the Irish trying to get to a New Year's Six bowl, but they haven't won on the farm since 2007. That was Jim Harbaugh's first year at Stanford. Kickoff set for 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 Pacific, and again, this game will be on Fox. Back to Gus and Joel.
All right, Sam, thank you very much. 3rd down and 7 for the Buckeyes at the Michigan 47. Master Teague. 56-27.
You know, partner, I don't know if you heard last week, but I was under fire for mixing cosmic forces.
What'd you do?
Apparently, I mixed DC and Marvel comics.
My goodness.
Which you don't do until somebody comes out here and plays like Justin Fields played, and then now he's Superman and the rest of the Buckeyes are the Avengers.
Or you could say he's Spock and Darth Vader combined.
Listen,
Now do I get killed for doing that?
Oh, they're coming. I said to myself last night, I was like, yeah, I should mix Star Trek and Star Wars. And then I thought to myself, I don't want that Star Wars noise on me.
Play game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Oh, man. They were upset last week.
I'm sure they were.
They were upset.
Well, 4th down. They'll bring in Chrisman. Thing about Ohio State, they say that all 22 players on offense or defense are pros, NFL players. If you look at the punting team and the kicking team, Chrisman and Haubeil, they've got a good shot to play on Sundays as well. So don't forget, folks, next week Fox heads to Indianapolis for the Big Ten Championship. #1 Ohio State is looking to win its 3rd consecutive conference title and will take on the winner of Minnesota-Wisconsin later today. It all starts at 7 p.m. Eastern here on Fox.
Can't wait for that one. I love the Big Ten championship game. I think it's one of the best environments for a championship game. The SEC does a heck of a job down in Atlanta. The Big Ten in Indianapolis. It's going to be a great crowd. Can't wait to see who the Buckeyes face in that matchup with Wisconsin and Minnesota later today.
Here's the run with Haskins.
How about that Minnesota story, right?
Well, I tell you, that's a great story with a great coach. Tanner Morgan, terrific quarterback. They've got some receivers that can really haul it in as well.
Tyler Johnson, Rashad Bateman. They're the top 2 receivers in the Big Ten right now. Antoine Winfield, terrific safety for them.
2nd down and 8. Patterson looking, just throws it up and incomplete. The producer of today's game is Charles McDonald, and the director, we call him the Vision, Rich Dewey. Our technical director is Glenn Wilhelm. The associate directors are Bubba Slosby and Ryan Doherty. The sideline producer is Johnny Area, and the broadcast associate is Andrew Wolf. Our technical producer, Thomas Lynch. Our statistician, Jeff Chapman and Josh Franz. Steve Owens is our researcher, and my spotter, my main man, Scotty Duthard. 3rd down and 8 at the 22. Patterson and incomplete.
This has not been a good half for Shea Patterson. Before this series, Patterson was 4 of 22 in the 2nd half for only 55 yards and an interception after being lights out, really playing lights out in the 1st half, partner. 14 of 19, 250 and a touchdown. He had played so well, and this Buckeye defense just clamped down.
Robbins will send it away with 2 minutes and 23 seconds remaining. They're caught at the 41-yard line.
Whew, I tell you what, man. They got that lead, a couple of mistakes from Michigan in that second quarter. They got that halftime lead, and then it was just like squeeze the vice. The defense clamped down, the run game clamped down. It was Michigan gave a fight there, got back within two scores. But this team is just so good, and they're so talented. They're such great front runners. When they get that lead, it's virtually impossible to come back because of how perfect you have to play along the way. And those mistakes caught up to Michigan. And now Ohio State, who put 62 on the board last year against Michigan, has now put 56 on the board against Don Brown's defense in Ann Arbor.
Master T. Jim Harbaugh did not push the panic button when they lost to Wisconsin. He rallied his troops. He thought that that game was a learning experience. The offense finally found its rhythm, its identity, started clicking, 4 straight wins. But this talented coach, great player, has yet to figure out the Rubik's Cube that is Ohio State. 2nd down and 12. T.
I'm sure people will be upset, but I got to tell you, I don't know if this was, this was the year, because of how talented this Ohio State team is. It's one thing to beat Ohio State, right? I mean, and we get that. Partner, this Ohio State team, they're destined for really big things. I believe that they're going to head to the playoff, even if they win or lose next week. That's how dominant they've been. Surely we can debate that. LSU's been dominant. They've been so good with Joe Burrow at quarterback.
And defense is a little weak, though.
Clemson looks very balanced. That's a team that riding the longest win streak in the country, the defending national champion. A lot of people looking at them like, okay, like they've certainly been bored with a really bad conference schedule in the ACC the entirety of the year. But man, this team just continues to get better. There's really no weaknesses.
I haven't seen them. Michigan was very confident coming into this game that they could expose some of the weaknesses of Ohio State. 56-27 is the score with 15 seconds remaining. And the final play of the game, Ohio State will win it 56-27. The Buckeyes have now won 8 in a row against the Wolverines, 15 of the last 16. Ohio State with 577 yards of total offense. The combination of J.K. Dobbins and Fields, 8 touchdowns combined. The Buckeyes improve to 12-0. Michigan falls to 9-3.
What a performance. What a performance. You've got to have your best players show out, play their best football. Fields played great. Dobbins played sensational.
Let's go downstairs to Jenny Taff, who's standing by with Coach Day.
Well, Gus, this guy got the Gatorade bath, and well-deserved. I know that you mentioned before the game that you've thought about this one, the game, every day since you became the head coach at Ohio State. What does the win mean to you?
Well, what it means is, I know what it means to everybody in the state of Ohio. And I know what it means to all Buckeyes throughout the country. And to represent them, it's an honor to have this responsibility. But I knew going into the season the expectations were really high. And this staff and what this team has done to get to this point and to win this game the way we did today, I just can't say enough about our guys, our coaches, and what we've gone through to get to this point. And it's just an unbelievable feeling.
Your players are just dominating really on all sides of this thing. And I want to ask you about Justin Fields, because unfazed in this matchup, his resiliency, his toughness, is he playing better than you even expected?
Hey, what he showed today, I don't know if there's many better in the country. I want to see who they are. I mean, the way he played today, he was tough. He went down with a knee. He made plays with his feet. He made plays with his arm. He was competitively tough. He prepared like heck, made some big-time throws. I'm so proud of him. Also, the way that J.K. ran. I mean, J.K. was running hard. Our offensive line, our receivers made a lot of plays in the pass game. Guys showed up today.
They showed up today, and the journey far from over for you guys. We'll follow you to Indy, but really, there are so many more goals you'd like to accomplish. How far can this team go?
I don't know. I mean, like I've said all along, when you start thinking about it, it gets overwhelming. So we take it week to week. We'll get back. You know, we got a couple guys banged up, so we'll regroup tomorrow, and we're off to Indy.
All right, enjoy it.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, the final score here at Michigan Stadium, 56-27 Ohio State.
Dominant. Most dominant team in the country, most balanced team in the country. They are the #1 team in the country.
We will have more post-game coverage.